He just wiggled. So, bomb set coming through there. Judges have got a bit to do here in terms of scoreboards. Wellington Race is on his way to a number, we reckon, up just ripping the bag out of a long, beautiful lined up wave. How's the variety in the turns and the aggression there, Anthony?
And the speed, that was so sick. And we apologize, we went down for a sec. We've got our mobile APP World Tour Magic Love Bus. And we moved locations, and we're just fine-tuning everything to bring you all the action. So great work by all the guys and girls who stayed up late, getting everything ready. Stayed up late, got up early. We were getting our beauty sleep, Paul, and all the rest of the crew, Danny, Mauricio, Anna, Sai, Christian. They're all plugging and unplugging cables all night. But we hope to possibly bring you the replay of Wellington. But you'll see the score drop in, and it's going to be a doozy. Could be the highest scoring wave of the event. For me, it was the best wave of the event. Number one or number two? And here's Sean Pointer.
Bomb out the back for Pointer. The Floridian. Boom. Smashes his ball through the lip. Just imposing himself on the lip line. El Loret's got a great inside racetrack section. There's the physical assault on the lip again and again. Nice spring in his step as you see him flex out with the legs out of those turns. Loads up the rail, keeps the speed up throughout. We've got a great heat in the hands here.
Oh, the boys are bringing it right now, and Sean took that one all the way 5 feet from the rocks, opening up his heat. That was just, and I love the way he got the board up and over the lip every time. Little mini airdrops, but controlled them perfectly.
Just giving it a little bit of extra squeeze, isn't he? Very physically strong and dynamic throughout his maneuvers. He's not kind of putting the board up and kind of hoping and letting the wave do the work. He's staying active the whole way through. A massive score in for Wellington Race. 9.3 for Wellington. A 9, sorry, we got a 0.3 previously. So that's actually a two-wave score. It's not a whole lot of difference. But a 9-point ride for him. Highest score so far of the event.
Oh, man. 9.0 and worth every single point. And Sean Pointer is going to throw up an excellent score as well. I'm not sure if it will be a 9. It's going to be close, though. That was a sick wave. So Sean Pointer says, okay, I've got your answer. And right now, Sean Pointer, he needs to win the event to have a possible chance at the world title. You see Benoit Carpentier getting ready, current gold medalist, ISA World Sup and Paddleboard Championships. But Sean's got to win the event. And there you see he throws down a 7.6. Not quite as critical, but a great wave nonetheless.
Love the prep from Carpentier. He's actually massaging Alexei there. Look at him the other way. He's massaging the corner man.
Oh, I love that group right there. This is awesome. And he's stoked. I'd love to see Benoit win an event. You know, he's always one turn away in a close heat, and he's got the crew. I mean, can you imagine the chariot? They'll walk him through the whole town. And Paul is just distracted by some local scenery. Not the type of scenery that you would think. But I digress. Let's get back to this heat. Just first 10 minutes, we're seeing an excellent score and a near excellent score.
Under 16 to go. Sean Pointer's numbers in. Huge number for him as well. And how about this heat? It's an absolute smoker.
So we see their total heat score, just 3/100ths of a second apart. 3/100ths of a point, excuse me. And we saw Wellington has the highest single wave score.
All right, here we go. Live action. Sean Pointer got a great looking wave. Look at that turn. Just overcooks it slightly. But a 7.6 for his last wave. Goes on with his 1.67. Just slightly overdoing it there. And that was a great looking wave. But he is fired up for this to compete. And Wellington Race has just poured a little bit of petrol on that bonfire as well. By getting a flat 9 for absolute ripper of a wave.
Just back on his bike. Oh my gosh.
So 14.5 on the clock and a smoker overheat. It's heat number 4 of round 3. They're getting down towards the halfway point in the round. A little bomb set out the back. Wellington Heist is going to get caught here. Unable to go. Antonin Salavera has got a job of work to do because he's behind it here. And a long way back already in this heat. And I think the situation's only going to get a lot worse because Rays and Pointer both got throwaway scores in their total at the moment as well, which will be history sooner rather than later.
He's going to be welcomed into combo land probably pretty soon because, oh, you see Wellington just aborting to the prone position. Sean turning and burning, late takeoff.
Pointer's up on a wide swinging bomb. Look how steep this section is. He attacks it. Great hit from him. Loading up and just bashing the lip. Just holds the bottom turn as he saw the wave going. A little soft. He's not afraid to take this all the way down into the bricks down there. Those dry rocks in the corner. His 7.6, he went all the way, pretty much into the wall.
And that takeoff was so difficult. And there you see the guys free surfing down on the left. So there's a little bit of a channel. And Sean is not scared to take it all the way to the rocks like we saw on his first wave. And that's going to be a great backup. So bye-bye 1.7. Not sure if that's as good as his 7.6. It didn't have the combinations, but the first turn, super critical. Sean Pointer is going to jump into the lead as Wellington continues to wait for a backup. Now it's interesting because Wellington was actually further out, and the first part of the wave broke on Wellington. He had to dive under, and then there's kind of a little section where it was doubling up, and Sean happened to be right in that double up. Said, "Thank you very much," under everyone's priority, and he's going to get a pretty meaty sized backup score. Or possibly his high score.
Pointer making his way out. Remind me of the situation for the title. He needs a win.
Needs to win. Point Nike needs to get a 4th place or worse. So you see Antonin on the smaller wave. And he's going to, boom, off the top right there. But I'll tell you what, when the guys in your heat are taking bombs and attacking them, the inside game's not going to work. They worked in some of the other heats, but not in this heat.
What if Pointer wins but Luis Denise gets second?
If Pointer wins and Luis Denise gets second, Pointer will still win.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
The winner will do it for him.
Yep.
Assuming that Porinaki doesn't make semis. Let's check out Salaberria on an inside wave, getting himself back in the contest. Surfing off the tail. Poking the nose through. A little dismount on the inside.
There's live action right now.
Wellington Race. See the speed off the bottom turn. The spray still standing up from the bottom turn as he smashes the lip. And in here, just deep again off the bottom. Small away from him. But no less impetus for that kind of wide stance that he uses to compress so well backside. So his backup score will be history. He just had a decimal in there. And with a 9 already in the bag, at this point he looks like he's kind of cruising on through to round 4.
Yep, it's going to be on. There you see Sean Pointer moving into first for the time being. From his last wave. 6.0, there you see it, still waiting for a score for Wellington. He has been welcomed to Combo Land. And it might be a 10-minute visit there. He's going to need at least a 3.6 to get out of that. Here we see Wellington, the replay of his last wave. Smaller wave, but surfing it brilliantly. Good patience waiting for the wave to set up. And great timing right in the pocket. And again, beautiful bottom turns. His top to bottom, bottom to top combination is one of the best on tour, and pulls out standing up. So just back to the world title race. Wellington Race, who's currently in fourth, is out of it. He doesn't have a high enough top score, so you basically need a win. All the top three guys that have the wins, Sean Pointer, Luis Dingis, Wellington Race, Luis Dingis and Poinike Rioja, they're the ones in the title hunt. So if Poinike loses before the semi, and Sean and Luis make the Sean and Luis make the final. If Sean wins, Sean will be the world champion. Poinike would still be second overall, and Luis Dingis would be third overall. If Luis Dingis were to win, and Sean gets second, Luis Dingis would be champion, Poinike Rioja would be second, and Sean Pointer would be third.
All right, let's go down and hear from the winner of last heat, Daniel Hughes. Standing by for an interview.
7, that makes...
Hi, this is Daniel. I'm just down here, just got out, won my heat, and the waves are really firing out there. Conditions are improving from this morning. When it was lower tide, it was a little more outside and kind of sectiony, but now with the incoming tide, the two peaks are actually combined into one, making it a really long, really fun wave, and it's actually really cleaned up right now. So I'm stoked. I had an amazing time out there. Waves are just fun. It's a good time. It's just a good day to surf hard and have a good time.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel. Houston, a little gig as a sideline reporter as well, ripping out in the water.
Yeah, can we leave him down there to ask all the questions? And that's a hairstyle I've never seen from him. I've never seen the man bun.
Yeah.
Usually likes to let it flow.
Yeah, he's looking happy and confident. He's trying new stuff out. You know, that's what you do when you're on vacay.
Well done, Daniel. So there's Sean's backup coming in at a 6. Wellington in first place. Sean looking for an excellent score in order to surpass Wellington. As we continue on the day with round 3, round 4, and we're going to finish up with the women. So if you win this heat, you get to surf against Julien Boyer. If you get second in this heat, you're surf against Daniel Hughes. So if this were to remain the same, we're going to see another generation matchup. Pointer versus Daniel Hughes, the rematch from New York.
As you see, Lakers Salazar just being tentative off the rocks there. Benoit. He goes from the top one of those little pebbles. You want to do real shallow paddles here, just fingertips essentially, no duck dives at all. And then eventually that current will pick you up and help you get into the channel. Not a long way to go. Just got to get past that first little band of white water. Get yourself in the rip. But it can all go a bit tricky when stuff like this happens. As you see, getting pinged back there, Carpentier. Leka Salazar has opted to jump in. They're going to make it through. A little tricky in there. So even if you get kind of fired up and psyched in your head and fast music going, you just have to calm down and just slow things down and be careful getting in the water, right? So you can't go in there like all guns blazing, because just getting in and out in itself is tricky.
Yeah, It is not an easy place to surf. The wave's tricky, the entry is tricky, and then after you're tired from getting pounded, the exit can be even trickier. Helps to have a teammate to help carry your gear.
How's those surfs you have where, because generally getting into the water is a bit easier, right? Going from dry to wet. But how's those surfs that basically you spend the whole time while you're surfing, the entire time you're not enjoying it. You're just thinking about where am I going to go in?
Yes.
Like, that's all you can think about. Hate that.
That's team related all the time. You're like, well, I should go in here, but maybe I'll go. We got live action right now. Wellington Race, our heat leader.
Driving off the bottom with a beautiful colour scheme on full display and a beautiful line through a wave. I love the way he just does this full U-turns off the bottom. And that first big bash was an absolute hanger of a turn. Just snipping through an inside hit, kind of milk things to the finish. There's a nice vertical hit. And look at that. He's already got a 9 in his score, and he's fired up and looking deadly. 4:40 on the clock, your heat leader is streets ahead in this one so far.
And it looked like Pointer might have been taken off. We saw Wellington Race and Sean was paddling possibly for a wave after that. His live action with Antonine. And he's trying to get out of combo land. And just a good time for this young surfer from France to be able to surf against the current world champion. And another top 5 competitor in Wellington Race. So there's Antonine, our surfer, in yellow. So from what I just heard from our live beach announcer, and let's see, here's Sean. So Sean did catch a wave right behind, and look at this next session coming up for Sean. Bang, critical airdrop right there, and sets up for that third turn. He does a great job of navigating the bumps into all of his turns. And Wellington's wave that he just got, maybe Wellington once again got the better of that exchange. I don't know, actually. Sean Pointer's wave was pretty critical. Wellington had more turns. Sean had that first opening turn. What do you think?
I'm just loving Sean Pointer's bottom turn. He gets so low to the water. Gives him so much drive. And from this angle, all we can basically see is his butt, right? It's everything else. No, but seriously, it's like he is so low to the water, almost like that water ski kind of bottom turn. I love it.
Yep. Slalom course, water ski.
So much drive in it, and it really is great to watch. And he's so precise with the surfing. Wellington Race, so that kind of wider stance, super functional for him. Allows him to get real vertical.
So we're waiting for scores still for Wellington and Sean. You see a 3, 4. Oh, he got out of the combination. No, he did not. Here's Antonine.
Salaveria. Almost looking like he'd done the capri wetsuit there, but actually that's just the colour scheme. You know, they're slightly below the knees, which just baffles me. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Even the legging, the capri leggings, I'm not sure what that is all about.
I mean, why wouldn't you just go full leg?
Unless you've had some kind of knee surgery or something, but even then, how much difference does it make having a bit of Leica over your kneecap?
And there you see, boom, Antonine, body language saying it all. So at this point, I would just go out and get a bomb. It's probably not going to advance. Wellington Race, you see his heat total getting bigger, 8.23 for his last one. Sean with the 7.87. They both bettered their scores.
What a hate. This has been, it's all kind of come together as well. Daniel Hughes mentioned it in his little debrief that he did to camera. Tide's pulled in a bit. It's kind of smooth over the bumps. Feels like at the same time the wind's just kind of smooth the touch. It's glassy on the face. We get these nice little double up pockets. So two of our outstanding surfers have also coincided with the fact the conditions are just kind of lining up to be a premium. And that has been reflected in massive score lines. And what a contrast to early on when people get caught out of position. It was wild and woolly. Now it seems a lot more groomed and lined up. and the energy really is just kind of drilling nicely onto the reef, down through our midway part of the wave. And those little racetrack sections allow surfers to attack with speed, and that's being reflected by big scores coming through for radical maneuvers. 2 very healthy totals for Race and Pointer. Salaberry's not done much wrong really, but he's come up against 2 kind of forces of nature in this one.
Yeah, I mean, he had a tough draw, and he's doing a fantastic job. Very impressive, and great experience to be able to surf against these guys and see what they can do on the same wave that you're surfing on. That's the thing with these types of things. Oh, one more throw of the dice for Sean Pointer. And I don't think he got into it. You have to be not paddling when the horn goes. Doesn't matter, he falls anyway.
Well, inconsequential in terms of advancing, but it does mean he gets to in second spot. So according to your calculations, he's going to take on Boyer.
Yep. Sean will take on Daniel Hughes.
Daniel
So it's
Hughes.
a rematch from New York. Wellington will take on Julien. And Wellington Race throwing up the first excellent heat score of the event. Score higher than 16. That is the first one of the event. And we are so stoked that we had to go through some heats yesterday.
We went through a lot.
We went through a lot of
Emotionally, we
heats.
went through quite a lot.
There you see 9 and an 8.23, total of 17.23. Sean Pointer, not a bad heat, 7.87 and a 7.6, 15.47. It's an excellent heat score for Sean. So from the event, and currently Wellington has the top 3 high scores, and he has 4 of the top 5 highest scores of the event.
Cheeky.
To say he's in form would be an understatement, but Sean's known for just doing enough, getting by. You never can count Sean out, and he's actually dangerous because I think he still has his best surfing to do. And he's having a look right there, and even though Sean, similar scenarios with last the world title, but they both got second in the event, and so they really want to get that event title as well. World title implications for Sean Ibaya out of the world title, but the next best thing is to at least win the event.
So Hughes in the world title hunt, but it's out of his hands in a way as well, because he needs to rely on other people's results. And our leader on the ratings, Poenaki Rayo, is the only surfer here that can just kind of do it on his own. It won't matter where anyone else finishes. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Join us for more live action. Heat 5 of round 3 of the APP World Tour from Gran Canaria, coming at you right after this. Pro-Am 2019, the APP World Tour brings you live action from the Atlantic Islands out here in Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, to wrap up our season. Crown World Champs out in the water, Heat 5 of round 3. Leco Salazar taking on Benoit Carpentier. And I think you got an update from the athlete area regarding Matthias Salazar.
Yeah, he's been nursing the sickness. We'll get right back to that. Benoit Carpentier opening up, just speeding down the line there on his 7.2 Starboard Pro model. Beautiful surfing from Benoit. And he'll take this one all the way into the channel. Stay nice and low. Just a positioning move that at the end there. Oh, the left. So Matthias Salazar sick. He surfed through yesterday, just hoping to get better. We haven't seen him at the event site since the beginning of the event. He's been resting and had a heat yesterday. Won his heat, but is feeling really sick. Might even go to the hospital later today. So Leco is surfing and Benoit in this heat. They'll both advance.
Yeah, we wish Matthias a speedy recovery. So this one, dead rubber in terms of who will be advancing. It's just a question of which heat they're going to surf in, depending on where they finish first or second.
So first from this heat, we'll surf second from the next heat. Here's a look at Leco Salazar, best backhand surfer on tour for the duration of the tour, and then Benoit.
And Leco, even though he's high up in the ratings, as you were explaining earlier, he's actually third. He's out of the race because he hasn't won an event. Even if he won here, can't clinch it.
If Leco won here, then he would have 23,000 points, which is still not enough because he would be just a little bit short because he's got that fourth place. Point Nike currently has a first, a second, and a fourth. Excuse me, Leco has the fifth. So Point Nike with a first, third, and fourth. Leco with a second, fourth, and fifth. So even if he dropped the fifth, still wouldn't be enough. So he's currently third place in the ratings, but no chance at the world title. Wellington is currently fourth place, but no chance at the world title. If everybody loses early between all the top 5, then Point Nike would win the world title. But we've seen they're all in form. Wellington in form, Sean Pointer in form. Point Nike still looking to find his form. And Clement Rosero throwing down the 8.17, so he could play a spoiler in this. We see Benoit Carpentier unloading right there. And he surfs with a lot of speed, not afraid to hit the lip. And then a beautiful carving cutback right into the pocket there. And a nice exit dive, staying nice and flat. It's shallow there. Good thing, unlike Barbados, there's no sea urchins underneath.
Carpentier keeping busy. Loads of support from his Breton homies down the beach. Got a full squad down here cheering him on. He's using that energy to carry over into the water, just having fun. Out of a world title race. Would love to take out a win here. And does have a bit of silverware, fresh silverware in the trophy cabinet from the ISAs.
Amazing surfing from Benoit every single day in the free surfs and through all of his heats. Had one bad heat where he fell on a couple of good waves and his opponent surfed well. So he went through the repechaje rounds, made it back into the main round. And that final was stacked. It featured Leco Salazar, it featured Ricky Horikoshi, brother of Yuka Horikoshi, and also featured the world kiteboard surfing champion in the Italian stallion Live action Lecco.
Leco Salazar, slopey wave out the back. Swinging around. Gets out of there. Doesn't find any scoring potential really to get excited about. Be a throwaway number for him. Ooh,
Lecco.
okay. Is this a little battle for Pryo here?
Yeah, Lecco trying to find his rhythm. Nobody's really opened up here yet.
Leco didn't look up for any kind of clash for priority, but looks like he got it actually. There we go. Essentially a man-on-man heat with the no-show from Matias Salazar. We do wish speedy recovery. He's feeling a little bit under the weather.
Having a look at our top 10 so far in the world. Whoop, Lecco Salazar turning.
Up and on an insider. And very, very uncharacteristic from him. He goes down heavy and hard.
Yeah, that was interesting. It looked like he was getting into that one easy. Lost his paddle. Oh, it's right there, luckily. That'd kind of be worst case scenario if your paddle went kind of all the way in to the rocks. So you've got to precariously take your board in through there to grab your paddle. So we do not wish that on anybody. So we've got 8 heats coming up in round 3. And we'll go right into 8 heats of round 4. So we'll see these surfers, the top 2 that win in this round will be surfing in the next round. And we'll be quarter, semis, and finals after that. Left for tomorrow, we'll have our women, possibly juniors, running today as well. There you see some of our women, current number 2 in the world, Fiona Wild, and current number 5 in the world, Banya Torres. They're staying together along with Laura Clayton. And here's
Benoit Carpentier. Ton of speed from the entry. Clips off the top. Little double, triple pump up turn. And then a nice jam off the rail. Puts himself down to a sweet little pocket on an inside. And that's a great hit on the end. That thing was almost going dry off the rocks. His squad loving it. Had a great end section on the end there, and he attacked.
That was sick. He was flying. He has so much speed and just, I love his flow. He's got great rhythm to his surfing. And, you know, you can see all the chatter on the wave face. And as you pointed out earlier, it's not so much the wind, it's just the water that's sucking off the rocks and rips and currents moving around.
Salazar outside. Looking to make amends for a little bit of an error on his previous wave. He's got a slopey one here, and he looks a little bit miffed. Slightly disinterested with that. So he'll flick off. Secure priority, 11:40 on the clock.
We'll see when Lecco gets a good one. When he goes off the bottom, his board doesn't chatter as much as some of the other guys. He's really locks his legs in. Have a look at Benoit. You can see his footwork to step back, and then he moves his back foot up, moves his back foot back again. So lots of foot movement just in that drop in to bottom turn to top turn. And Benoit Carpentier continuing his good form from El Salvador. So we look back at our top 10 ratings so far. Julien Boyer currently sitting in 10th. A couple of athletes not here in Leonardo Jimenez and Bant Rodiger. Those two are tied for 8th. Benoit Carpentier, Sean Pointer tied for 6th. Mateus Salazar, he's going to get a 3,000 point finish, so his hopes of staying in the top 5 have come to an end. He's currently in 5th place, but Sean Pointer is going to pass him in the ratings. Wellington Raish in 4th, Lecco Salazar sitting in 3rd place. So it'll be his best finish in a few years. Luis Diniz, as we've been talking about, currently in 2nd. And the consistency of Poi Nike Rioja has landed him in the lead coming into the last event.
10 on the clock in this one. At the moment, the Frenchman with a reasonable lead. Salazar has not found quite as good opportunities so far. Still a bit of time left in this. And have we worked out who they're going to be surfing against, respectively? Am I putting you on the spot here?
It'll be the next heat. So these guys, so we're now in the bottom half of the
Sure.
draw. So the first half of the draw, first four round 4 heats are set up. And then we're going to set up these bottom 4 heats. So first from this heat, this is heat number 5 in the round number 3. First from 5 will surf against second from 6. And first from 6 will surf against second from 5. So we're going to be looking at Mo Freitas, Max Torres, and Felipe Martin in that next heat coming up. And there you see Mo Freitas with his new board. And Mo is stoked. Of anyone that's here, Mo just cannot wait to go unleash. Well, these guys and girls can't, but Mo's just pretty frothy.
Got the Rawson quad.
Mo's going quad as well. Interesting. Mo and Daniel Hughes both with quads. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. Plenty of palm trees. Max Torres hoping for the upset versus Mo. He's like, where do I go out? He literally, I was joking at first, but he's really asking the lifeguards where to go.
And lifeguards, they got the wetsuit up to the waist, so they're all-day wetty hangers, which I think is a hashtag on Instagram.
Is it really? I love it.
Get a little bit yeasty in there, can't it? You can get humid and moist. Kind of petri dish style down both legs. All day in the wetsuit. Interesting.
Yep, they may need it to respawn. There's Luis Deniz getting into his zone. He's got his, you can see him dancing his Tupac. And even as a black queen, mama, he always was a... And there we see Felipe Martin, excuse me. He's psyched for his round 3 matchup. So we haven't seen a huge set come through for a while. So I think the lineup's figured itself out. As Lecco is still looking for his first scoring wave, a little bit out of rhythm. And we have a look down the beach. You can see the channel. There's Big T, Tony Freitas. He's getting the aperture set perfectly. He's getting the...
Nice camo vibes, I don't mind it.
Can't even see him. So in Barbados, you can't wear camo. Kuipo had on camo and they made her take it off. You're not allowed, it says it in the thing at the airport, there's signs. If you're wearing camo, they won't let you go into the country.
Why?
I didn't ask why. Yeah, try it next year.
Okay.
So wait, you're coming to Barbados next year?
I'm not sure I had...
See how I did that? See how I did that?
I'm not sure I've got any camo in the wardrobe. I used to have a pretty cool pair of board shorts, camo ones.
Ah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, you're going to have to buy a shirt just to see if they'll let you wear it. There you see the flag flying low. It's getting close to the ground there. I don't think you're allowed to do that, are you?
Some kind of a diss, isn't it?
I think so. Take some pride in your flag.
Knocking someone else's king over.
Oh, whoa.
No, just talk.
Do not ever knock somebody else's king over.
Under 6 minutes to go in this one. It started off with a bit of a bang and it's gone a little bit quite simmered down. And that dog's face kind of pretty much sums up the vibe. Oh, cute. So, out in the water, the leader is the Frenchman, Carpentier. And he's quite a lot deeper up the point. Hector Salazar sitting wider.
Man, and Lecco, this is like, I just want to see him harness some speed and throw some spray. We want to see that in every single heat, just everyone going to town, let the judges do their work. But this heat's been a little slow in the midsection.
Kuiper go quietly when she got told to take the camera off, or did she stand her ground?
Say again?
Did Kuiper stand her ground over the camera, refuse to take it off, or how did that go down?
I believe she didn't take it off. She just put something else on over it.
Yeah, classic.
But they sent her into the bathroom and that's like waited out there with the machine guns and everything. Yeah. We still have to get to the bottom of the stuck in the lift story.
I'd also quite like to know what would happen if you had that. Remember the Jerry Lopez had a slight, almost like camo kind of spray. Maybe it wasn't camo coloured, but what if you had that spray on your board? How that would pan out?
I mean, as long as they didn't see it at the airport,
Yeah.
I think you'd be okay unless a cop rolled by while you were surfing.
When they tuned into the webcast and
Yeah.
came down. All right, Carpentier will snaffle this one from a wider position than Leica Salazar, who had to cede ground, and it's a bit of a bomb as it ropes a little bit wide, and he'll just push up a foam climb maneuver and get out.
Yeah, we've seen some great waves today so far. And we'll see some more great waves last year. Oh my goodness. It was just action-packed. Sun was out. The wind was slightly offshore. It was absolutely perfect. There's the boys just hanging out. Lecco's still trying to find his first good wave. 22 and a half minutes have gone by, 2.5 minutes left. And it's got to be a little bit frustrating, especially when you saw that previous heat with Sean and Wellington just absolutely going to town. I wish. I wish that everyone could have a chance to rip like Benoit.
Here he goes, up and riding. Deep, driving bottom turn, loses it on the top turn, out the back. Salazar's making a move. He's seen something he likes the look of. Or has he?
You see something, we can see the jet ski operator disappear. That tells you he's in the trough. Yeah. No worries, just talking with our producer Christian, the man, the myth, the legend. .921 is the score needed for Lecco. And here he is. And he is fully capable. Lecco fading this one. There he goes off the bottom. Boom. Now this wave doubling up. Second turn. A little bit fat on that one, but this wave's going to stack up. Boom, off the top. Free falls down. Bang! He's going straight up on that one. Lecco trying to stay ahead of this one. One more. Little fakey floater there. And oh, the chop hop 180 into the channel. Lecco Salazar. I don't think that's going to be the 9. Here's the Bouillet Bros. But Lecco perhaps building a little bit of momentum going into the next heat. Here's Benoit off the bottom. Ooh, somehow was able to jam that one back into the pocket there. And Benoit is just going to take this one to the beach. Probably not going to be one of his top 2 scores. But he's showing some smooth surfing nonetheless. Bang. And finishes right there with Lecco. Lecco looking to give him the high five. That's a great way to finish off the heat for Lecco Salazar. Even though it may not be the score, you at least want to get a good wave. And that's exactly what he did.
It's going to round things out. It's going to be Carpentier in yellow. We'll get the win over Lecco Salazar, current 3rd place in the rankings. going to round out heat 5 of round 3.
So, one thing I've noticed, Paul, as we get back to this heat recap here, is Benoit. The heat, we're still waiting for scores, but I believe going to be our heat leader, heat winner. And he was just catching a lot of waves. Found him early, free falling right there.
What have you noticed, Anthony?
I've noticed that Lecco rips. This was his last wave. We're still waiting for a score for Lecco as he just takes this one all the way in. So smooth, and his board doesn't chatter. His legs are so strong that you see some of the other boards a bit chattery, but the Brazilians are always hanging together and having a laugh. But since this morning, Wellington race, he's just behind us. He's been sitting by himself, looking focused. He's got his boards there. He's got his warm jacket on, and I mean he absolutely crushed his heat. Luis Dingis is kind of hanging out in his own zone. They don't have any of the Groms around.
Everyone's running their own race at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. I like seeing them together, but I also, like we talked about yesterday, I love watching athletes prepare and just seeing the different space that they're in today. It's going to translate to great surfing, I think. Still waiting. Judges are figuring out the last score for Lecco Salazar. It's not going to turn the heat, but it's still going to be a decent score. 7.93 coming in for Lecco. So that was he needed a little bit more of that a little earlier. Almost an excellent score. Still in second place. There you have it. Benoit Carpentier first. Lecco Salazar second. Mateus Salazar sending him some healing thoughts. Trying to battle a bout of sickness. Might be going to the hospital later. Congrats, Lecco. We'll see you in round 4. Congrats, Benoit. We'll see you in round 4. And who will they surf against? They'll surf against first and second from this heat. Juan de los Reyes in red. Aaron Rowe in white. Antonio Sanchez from Spain in yellow.
Alrighty, so we've got 2 Spaniards and a surfer out of the Channel Islands jersey, to be precise. No, that's not. I missed a heat here. I don't think that is the heat in the water. We're watching Maximilian Torres, Mo Freitas, and another. So the graphic, I think we're just getting a little ahead of ourselves there.
Oh, yeah.
So we're actually, that's next heat that we just brought you. We're actually going to see Mo Freitas, Max Torres, and Felipe Mardan. And here goes Mo, big hack on that Rawson quad. Boom, another one, bit bigger. In terms of the spray, look how smooth the transitions are between the turns. Eyeing down the line. We'll just flip over. Check out the work. Mardan being done backside. Looking at home in the juice. There it is, heat number 6. Freitas, Torres, Mardan. And the Brittany cheering squad
Yes.
are happy with things, where things are going down. Nice little hat selection they got going there. Some cool little,
Yoga pants.
yeah, some nice pants as well. Very comfy, practical, floaty. Light,
Love
breathable.
it. Love it. Love it. Benoit winning his heat. Oh, slipping on the rocks. Oh, Lecco slipping on. They're both having a laugh. It's good to see him in good spirits. Kind of a no-pressure heat. Both of them knowing that they advanced. Lecco finishing with that 7.93. Here we saw Mo just getting used to this break, that second turn. Flowing very nicely between the 2 turns, digging the nose, able to come out of it, and just toying with it at the end here. Gets it getting nice and stylish. Works his way to the inside, throws his board down there, and Felipe Mardan able to squeeze through his repechaje round. He's going up against Mo Freitas, winner in Brazil way back in 2012 at the age of 15. So you kind of thought, oh, wow, Mo's going to win, you know, so many events on tour, and he hasn't been able to put it all together for a second event win. This is the 36th event on the APP World Tour, and event winners have been, it's quite a exclusive club. Kai Lenny taking up most of those with 11 event wins. Only Izzy Gomez has more with 12. So we're looking for a possible 2-event winner this year. Nike, Sean, or Luis Deguis. If either of them were to win.
Martin floating the boat and going down. So my local having a dig, getting some manoeuvres done, goes incomplete on his last turn. Nevertheless, we'll get another score to add to his 2. Comes in as a 2.33. His total goes to 4.33. Good enough for second at the moment. 20.5 minutes remaining.
And he's stoked making it into the APP World Tour through the local trials event. Had a good draw and was able to squeak through the first round in the Repechaje round.
Getting a chance to take on the big guns. Alright, we'll just check out the end of Maximilian on a ride here. He'll finish off the Puerto Rican on the inside with a little bang. Nice little tweak top turn from him. Let's go down and hear from Benoit Carpentier for a debrief on his heat.
Hey guys, Benoit, congratulations. Just you got your coach here with you, I hear, and tell us a bit how it was out there.
Yeah, stoked to have my family here, my friends, my coach as well, Don Alerio, and yeah, the waves are pretty pumping right now, and it's good to get like some size and get a few scores.
And what do you think about later on? Is it going to be good or is it improving?
Yeah, I think with the tide going higher, it should be like getting like cleaner, even cleaner. So yeah, we should get like some really good waves. Even tomorrow is going to be pretty pumping. So hopefully I can make it like the next round as well and be in the final day tomorrow.
Well, you're doing well now, so let's hope it carries on, though, for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Allez, très bien. Good job, Benoit Carpentier. Coach just chilling in there as well. I thought he might get a few words from him, but he just wanted a little bit of time on camera.
Well done.
Danny
I was just going to say well done to the birthday boy. Just nailing that interview. Well done, Danny. So Danny doing about 19 different jobs during this event, including setting everything up, cooking dinners, bringing us coffee, which, Danny, we're going to need you back up here for some more coffee. And also doing the post-heat interviews. Meanwhile, we saw Max Torres getting a wave on screen. Max Torres will also be in the junior. We'll have semis and finals of the juniors. Possibly semifinals today, finals tomorrow.
Dinner time.
They're like, what did he say? Our beach announcer trying to make sure that they can hear him. They raise their paddle in the affirmative. How's that view right there? That's why this place is so beautiful. Look at the coastline.
Quite jagged, quite sharp.
Yes, this is true. Quite beautiful. More yogging.
We got some scores coming in on the Stacked app. Mo Freitas backed up his 6 with the 7:07. Waiting for it to refresh on the screen. Max Torres 4:33. So there you have it. Mo Freitas unleashing on the 7:07. I think we missed that one.
Ooh, bit of a bomb here from Martin. Delays the bottom turn. Just kind of checks back. Lets the wave stand up again. He'll push wide down on this section to the midpoint of the wave. Nice little swoop back, clip off the rebound, and then kind of hung on, did a couple of little head shimmies, and in the end couldn't hold on, he buckles.
Head shimmy is an underrated move. I think it's an important maneuver and helps with body position. There's Max sitting further inside. Mo Freitas. Oh man, last year on one of the free surfs, Mo caught this. It's pretty crowded. You know, there's a lot of shortboarders out. It was really good. It was lined up perfectly, maybe a little bigger than this. And Mo, Sean Pointer, and Benoit were out surfing, all being very respectful. Mo went and got a bomb like 30 yards past everyone. Here's Max Torres.
Here goes the Puerto Rican, and he finds himself caught behind the section, gets a flamboyant exit, and he's going to get the next one right on the face for his troubles.
Mo having a look possibly at this. Nope. Mo actually got caught inside on that one too.
Just came up just in time to see this. Hello.
Oh, Max
Hi.
Torres. Max charges big waves, so it's going to be no problemo for the youngster, but still takes a lot of energy out of you. I think, you know, the adrenaline, the excitement, the actual wear and tear of your body getting spun around in the washing machine.
Holding onto the paddle.
Oh yeah, let's not forget about that. Getting dragged by your board. So Max took about 3 of those on the head. Mo just took 1 on the head, and he's further out. But I was talking about this free surf, and Mo just paddled out. Could have been 50 meters past everyone, so far away, and just waited for like 20 minutes. I was watching it for a while, just checking out the conditions to see how the swell was building, and it was. And Mo got this huge wave that was just perfect. And he literally came to where the pack was sitting and did his first turn. It was like a super stylish floater over like 3 guys. And then came on a second turn and just completely covered another guy paddling out. Did an air on his 3rd turn. I think all the shortboarders got so mad at him. You know, they were heckling him on the way back out and created a little bit of a ruckus. And it was, you know, it's always awkward, interesting, you know, to see that when surfers are being respectful. It wasn't like Mo snaked somebody, you know, did anything. He just caught a really good wave from way out in the back, and I think they were pretty bummed. In the end, they all shook hands, and it was no problemo. And unfortunately for Mo, he went down early. Wasn't able to surf that many rounds here at El Lloret, but he's looking good today. 7.07 and a 6.
Yeah, looking real good. Healthy number already, midway point in the heat approaching, and he is miles out in front. Torres and Martin with a lot to do.
So winner gets to surf against Lecco, loser gets to surf against Benoit. These round 4 matchups. It is just going to be on.
All right, so a little concerted effort here from Max Torres out of Puerto Rico. Finds himself in a good position for an entry here. Little S-ing from the top of the wave. Nice bottom turn, good attack from him. Goes over the section, projects down, but projects into to a kind of fat section where the wave will disappear. Just be the one turn for Max, but it was a pretty good one.
Probably better as 4-3-3 or be equal to it. Very committed turn. Unfortunately, that wave didn't offer him anything else. And here is Mo, our heat leader from the island of Oahu. Haleiwa's his home break. Mo just cruising into this one. And that one kind of doubled up, ran away from him. So he's going to maintain priority. Continues to watch the wave, though, to see if he made the right choice. And when you've got the heat lead by that much, you can afford to be choosy. It's actually quite a good strategy to be very selective. Basically, any wave you take off on, it has to have at least a 6-point scoring. Oh, left! This is a 10 automatically.
Arden going left
Yes.
from the middle peak.
10.
Anthony Vela
10.
loves it. The Goofy Foot Union enjoys that a lot. So going left, cheeky.
Oh, that's the kind of rabbit out of a hat he needs to pull in order to. And if he doesn't get a 10, we're going to protest. Yeah, the left. 10, right? Yeah, I'm just trying to coerce the judges into a 10, but they're not buying it.
All right, bomb out the back, standing up. Freitas going to get all wrapped up with this. And on the inside, Martin throws going left. This is what you get. She gets.
Oh, that's an expensive left for Martin. And look at there's waves out the back. Oh, man.
You gotta really love going forehand. Get yourself in there on purpose. That's what he's done.
Oh, and this bigger board, too. Look at all the whitewater. This could be our first broken leash coming up. Oh. As Mo just waits casually. They're in two different worlds right now. Oh, he lost his paddle. Oh, no.
Martin.
He's got to paddle in further.
He is in the hurt locker. Looks like he's going to get there, though. No worries. He's got his paddle back.
And I think I was just excited. It looked like there was a couple waves coming, but oh, right to his feet. Well done, Felipe Martin. There's Karsten Kermis sitting and enjoying all the action, and there you see our next heat hap getting ready. De Los Reyes, Rowe, and Sanchez. I want one of those hang loose jerseys, sweatshirts the Bouye Bros have. We could be wearing them. We could be matching right here. Think they'll trade their sweatshirts for ours?
Probably, if we sign them.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they want to do that? Max Torres 5.83 for that one turn wave. Pretty hefty score. It shows the commitment of the turn. And there you see the break we were at yesterday on the other side of the rocks. So we did 18 heats there. Round 1 repechaje for the men. Now we're on round 3 and 4. And I heard rumors that Shaq and Ibaya are on their way to the airport to pick up Izzy Gomez. So the world champ is here. She was holding out, wanted to be around for the Jaws event. Was kind of hoping. She was like 4th or 5th on the wild card list. Didn't get in. Of course, we saw Annie Reichart get in, get a 3rd place. Izzy hopped on a red eye and is here. So luckily for her, we didn't run earlier. And lucky for us that she's here. And unlucky for the other girls, but I think Ibaya is in a great position to win this event, as is Shaq. Bong is surfing really well. You see Juan de los Reyes getting ready.
Ibaya and Shaq might think, actually, we don't have much gas, so we're actually just going to hang. Oh, you missed your heat, sorry.
I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. Oh man, I remember this one race, Paul, where there was like $4 grand in prize money, and Mo and I were the only guys to get out clean, and it was just a short little race in and out of the surf. So if you get out, I mean, you're probably gonna win. And Mo, they changed the course. Mo went the wrong way, and right after I said it, I was really angry with myself, but I'm like, Mo, you're wrong way. You're going to this movie. And, of course, he ends up winning, and I did it.
And he split the money with you 50-50,
He
right?
did not split the money. And he lived at home with his parents. The $4,000 in kid money is like 19 grand. I had to pay rent and stuff, and that was the worst thing. I was kicking myself. Why did I do that?
Too nice, man.
Yeah.
Always thought that about you. Too
Yeah.
nice.
Mo having a look, stalling. Oh, this one's setting up nice.
Freighter smashes. A nice turn off the top into a bottom turn. Nice combo.
Oh.
Late to the party on that last maneuver. Goes down hard. Was it the first ever Pipe Masters where I think Corky Carroll told Joey Lopez it wasn't on, didn't he? Joey went to hang
Yes.
at Mokulai'e, and they had the event. Sneaky.
Although he claims he never said that, but as the stories come out, told him the event wasn't on. Of course, he didn't have cell phones. And well played, well played.
That was the 71 Pipe Masters. Unless I'm mistaken, first ever one. End up being won by Hackman. Mr. Sunset took that one out. Mr. Pipeline was nowhere to be seen. Awkward.
Mr. Sunset, now there's a great read. That book is just absolutely incredible.
Phil Jarrett, the famous Australian surf journalist. Brilliant book about Hackman. Under 5 minutes remaining in this. Freitas in the front. Torres has come back at him though. Marden has entertained particularly Anthony Vela by going izquierda. And he's got a little bit to do though if he's going to get into one of those advancing spots.
I mean, if they gave him the 10 that he deserved, then he might have been in the heat right now. Love the goofy going left on a right point break. I've been known to do that a time or two. And paid the price for a couple of lefts at sunset. And we see a bomb set approaching. Woohoo! Who's in position? Anybody?
Big lines out of the North Atlantic marching in here with 4 on the clock. Is everyone caught inside?
Oh.
Torres is going to wear this.
Oh.
Nice little dive off. Nice straight legs, good form.
So that's when it's too big. Notice he didn't do the kick the board over and go back. He just went straight for the dive. I think that one was a little too thick for that for him. And Rowe getting ready in the next heat with Juan de los Reyes and Antonio Sanchez. Mo Freitas just repositioning a little bit. And we are in heat 6 of 8, round 3, men's Gran Canaria Pro-Am, brought to you by Red Bull. We've had the Red Bull Expression session, seeing Luis Tinguis winning, along with Fiona Wild. And winning the juniors was Max Torres. Who won the juniors? Paul can't remember.
Sounds like another lifetime. It's actually less than 2 days ago.
David, who won the juniors Red Bull Expression session? It wasn't Max.
Juan de los Reyes, I think it was.
Juan de los
Come up
Reyes.
in the next heat.
Yeah.
Well remembered me.
You're correct. Here's Oh, there he's got his class ring.
Martin might be in position here for a bit of a bomb. Disappears in the trough. Will he reappear for a paddle? No, because it's that man Mo Freitas, your heat leader, streaking through a high line. Nice kind of narrow bird stance, as he will set up on a steep section that he won't really take on. And his speed is kind of pushing him out wide on this one. So he goes for a redirect back, little clip off the rebound. A little jam off the paddle. Another swoop back to the juice. There's a nice little turn off the top. He'll go down. Board will ping round over the falls. Yeah, and we're just 40 seconds to go. That'll be it from him. Maybe he doesn't know how much time's left.
Kind of a celebration lap there for Mo. That wave really didn't give him the score. I think he's just waiting for the set maybe to finish, or maybe he doesn't know the time, but I feel like he should.
All right, that'll wrap things up for heat number 6 of round 3 of the Gran Canaria Pro-Am APP Tour's final event of the season. You're watching Maximilian Torres with a little flyaway punt. Second place in that heat. We'll see him advance and take on Benoit Carpentier. And Freitas will face Leco Salazar in round 4. That's coming up later today. We're also chance of running women's round 1 as well. There's a lot of surfing to bring you from Gran Canaria. It's the weekend, and we're thinking pretty positively about finishing up for our final day tomorrow, Sunday, as this continues to build before it gets massive. Real big next week, maybe a little too big for this spot.
I mean, this morning was almost too big. We saw some sets that just pretty much closed out the whole day.
Official results: Freitas, Torres, you 1-2, Marden, Jose, adios, hasta luego. A good job from him, coming all the way from winning a qualifying event, the national Spanish event. Marden surfed against and with the best of the best. He's had fun doing it too. Look forward to seeing him again. Let's check out Heat 7. Juan de los Reyes, Aaron Rowe, Antonio Sanchez.
This bottom half of the draw is where we see a lot of our newer competitors to the tour, like Antonio Sanchez. Aaron Rowe has been at several events, but chooses to do this one that's the most local, and he's been injured, so he missed a couple events. I think he's going to try and do the whole tour next year. And Federico Benetolo, Guillermo Carriceda will be coming up against Luis Tinguis in the next heat. There's Maximilian Torres getting a little help with the paddle. Oh. Hey, easy with the quick blade right there.
Whoopsie daisy.
Max with the quick blade vector net. It's hard. Paddle, leash, board, rocks, slipping. There's Pops ready to help him. Well done, Max Torres. And he's made a lot of heats this year. So great to see the family support, allowing Max to come to all these events and travel around, spend some time in Puerto Escondido, getting tubed. Had a great run in El Salvador. And we need like 10 more kids like Max and 10 more sets of parents like Max. That way, we have a whole group of youngsters cruising the tour,
stepping up the level, pushing these veterans like Sean, like Poinike. Poinike used to be one of those young kids. Now he's the veteran. So we need guys like Max, guys like Fernando Serra.
On de los Reyes.
Juan de los Reyes.
There he is on screen, the Spaniard. Out of the south of Spain. Winning expression session. It's a man who hails from a different island from these ones. Very different looking jersey. He's known for new potatoes and cows.
And Aaron Rowe.
And Aaron Rowe. He's got himself a little score on the board already. Feels like the surf's just kind of maybe just dialed back a wee bit. Maybe the frequency of the set. It's not really the size. There's still bombs. Maybe just slightly fewer sets in these 25-minute heats than we saw at the start of the day. Although we do have set lining in. How does this break go through the high tide?
Depends on the swell and the direction. I think the waves that we have right here in the swell, I think we'll be okay on high tide. It might actually make it a little better. Juan having a look at this one.
De los Reyes, the Spaniard, bouncing his way over the ledge. Wide stance, bit of safety stuff going on. Clip off the top, and an awkward wipeout from him. And I bet he shakes his head when he comes up.
Or underwater.
Sanchez. Here he goes on a bomb.
Oh, over the falls. Oh, you can't dive at the top of the lip. You got to dive lower. Oh, it comes up quick. Well done. So maybe he timed that better than I thought. Well done by Antonio Sanchez. Pulling the parachute on that one. Aaron Rowe opening up. He's going to be tough to beat in this heat. He's a competitor, and he knows how to compete. Juan de los Reyes, the more accomplished surfer, surfing in more events on the tour, but Aaron Rowe is a cagey veteran. Don't count out Antonio Sanchez as he's having another look.
All right, here goes Sanchez. Tentative entry. It's a softer inside wave. Just wants to get a score going. Little flick off his heels and a little prod up through the lip. And then he finishes right on a boil there. Saw that as a rock right there. Almost went dry as he went past it. See that race, that rip racing way outside now. The tide's pushed in. So we're kind of off the rip. Although it does swirl around a little bit and move, but it is kind of in the channel next to the wave as opposed to going right through the break. And that's one of the reasons why things are a bit cleaner. As this swell, it feels like it's possibly coming in a lot more of a westerly direction, so to the left of your shot. Feels a little bit like that's where the sets are coming from. Could just be a function of the tide and the way the bathymetry just bends the swell in. Alright, let's go down and hear from Mo Freitas, winner of the last heat.
Good to be back here in the Canary Islands. Waves are pumping, so stoked there's some swell. I really enjoyed this wave last year, and I'm stoked to come back and prove myself.
I think you're definitely looking into the contestant there, man. You were like firing on the big ones.
Yeah, a couple. You have to really wait for the right one. It's kind of the swell's kind of good size and just picking up, so it's closing out in front of on a lot of the waves. But when you get the right one, it really opens up nice. And yeah, I was fortunate to get like one or two. And yeah, my board's feeling really good. My paddles are solid, and I'm stoked. Yeah.
That's good. Paddle, board, and rider solid.
Yeah.
Looks great for us. Fantastic. Catch you later.
Okay, Danny. See ya. All right.
Alright, good job Mo, well done Danny.
Danny crushing another interview. See how he wrapped it all up there? Board, paddle, and rider all in the flow. Danny, you are just crushing it.
De los Reyes, almost a cheetah 5 entry into this one. Poke the foot back, still with the wide stance. And he's going to go down here. You can kind of just see that coming. He's a little bit late, and his board is moving a lot. Here goes Rowe, as he'll drag up a nice snap in a steep section. He'll bury the nose and go down face first as well, over the handlebars. A lot of wipeouts in this heat.
I mean, let's be honest, we love wipeouts as long as they're safe. Oh,
As long as it's somebody else.
oh, Juan de los Reyes, we saw on the bottom of the screen, he was underwater for quite a while. And just a low-scoring affair here. We've seen some athletes getting in rhythm in the ocean, some athletes not able to find the rhythm, some heats for that matter as well. We look back at the Wellington Rays Sean Pointer showdown. That heat had a lot of high scores. There's Aaron Rowe. Nice pencil dive there. Pencil jump.
Oh, pointed toes maybe even for extra style points.
Yep. Antonio Sanchez staying a little further on the inside on the shoulder. He's got priority. Priority so far hasn't played a role, and today the lineup is so spread out. The takeoff's very difficult, and that rip that played havoc on Camille Bouillet, Mo Mouch, and Point Nike, and also that second heat, that rip has died down quite substantially. Not as much of a factor.
All right, here goes Sanchez having a look from deep up the point. Finds himself a nice smooth bowl here. Delays the bottom turn. Jam down into the pocket. And then he tries to get some speed going. Just a little kind of line, a flat line under a lip there. No real attacks yet. It's real shallow in there. You can just see it kind of pinballing right on the rocks in there. That's nasty. That's the trouble with those smaller waves, is they're right on the reef.
Right on the reef. You can see him popping up as he went by. Almost like Super Mario Brothers jumping on the rocks there, earning points. Antonio Sanchez trying to, I would say, upset if he were to advance over either of these two guys. Antonio Sanchez, a newcomer to stand-up paddle surf competition. Obviously not a newcomer to stand-up paddle surfing, but at least international competition. We've yet to see him in any of the international events. Local event for him, we all traveled to his part of the world, and he's making the most of it.
So under 13 to go in this. Sanchez got himself in a lead. Low scoring affair means things are wide open. And everyone's in with a shot with a fairly modest score. The Los Reyes is having a watchful eye on the man with priority. It's Rowe from Jersey. And he is so deep, way too deep on that one. It will just run away in front of him and unable to get any points scored there.
So Antonio, you see with that total heat score of 617, he's got a 3.1 and a 3.07, just a couple of threes. And Aaron Rowe with a couple of low twos. That's why his total is a 4.23. And Juan de los Reyes, a couple of low ones. So he's got a total of 2.6. So ones, twos, and threes, that's all we've got. Ones for Juan, twos for Aaron, threes for Antonio. And they're going to look to get their next wave score total, their heat score total. I'm getting antsy, Paul. Can you make one of these guys do something? Someone do something.
Yeah, it's not been a classic so far. This one, plenty of time left for it to fire up, but we've been lacking in quality, both from the ocean and both from our surfers who've not delivered us much at all. Sanchez has got out in front by being real safe and just kind of wiggling mid-face, essentially. A couple of threes reflected, and that's good enough for first, unbelievably, at the moment. Let's see if things fire up. They tend to, usually, in the back end of heats when you get a slow start. We've got some wild and woolly action pounding in out of the North Atlantic on the outside. Here goes Juan de los Reyes on a meaty section. He decides to get out.
And as this tide continues to fill in, we're going to see the takeoff zone start to happen more to the right of the screen, further up the point. And I think we'll see this point be a little bit more organized as we see that set just ran away. No takers on that set. And we've got quite a skateboard scene happening in front of us as well. There's a little mini skate park that's quite an awkward little section, but a lot of carved skateboards around here and guys just surfing their skateboards. A lot of sidewalk surfing. Here's real surfing.
Juan Los Reyes does well to deal with a weird double up. Flicks off the top. Look how wide the stance is, son.
Double.
And he'll tag one on the end and get a finish. Nicely done by Juan.
So he might enter the land of 2s, 3s, or 4s. Last for Aaron, 3.5. Just enough to move him a little further ahead of Juan. Juan, I think, is going to have the highest score so far with that last wave ridden. There you see Daniel Hughes sporting the new hairdo on the right, on the left. Oh, Antonio Sanchez. Have a go.
Lack of commitment there. Didn't back himself, did he? Had a couple of paddles and then just gave up. I'd have liked to see him commit to that and give it some. This is, come on, man. This is round 3. APP World Tour. There's a lot at stake. First or second to get you into round 4. Have a go.
Have a go. Aaron Rowe, what do you know? He's got that wide stance as well. Oh! Oh! Maybe too wide. That back foot just slipped off that rail out, so that looked painful. He said the same thing. But yeah, back to Antonio Sanchez. I mean, at least get the photo out of big wave. I mean, that would be a great Instagram photo, you at the bottom. Even if it closes out, no one has to know. And we're not really prepared up here for rain if it starts to rain. So I'm not sure what...
This was not in the brochure from the Canary
This was not in the brochure.
We're going to get rain.
Not sure what our contingency plan is, but we're about to find out. Just a couple of sprinkles. Sun's actually coming out as well. Sun and rain.
So, not much rain to get excited about. Certainly not a large proportion of our 148 millimeter annual average that we experienced here in Las Palmas.
Yeah, we got about 6 of those millimeters the other day.
I'm not sure if it was quite that much.
You don't think so?
Just to put that in perspective, think about London, you're around about 600 mil a year, which this may surprise you. Sydney, Australia gets double that. You're looking at about 1,200, gets double the average rainfall of London in a year. How'd you like them apples? Southern California, of course, would be getting probably similar to here, maybe around about 100, something like that. A lot of it fell in the last couple of weeks, right, in Orange County.
I wouldn't know. I've been not home. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain. And Juan de los Reyes, you see him waving his hand, saying hi to us up in the booth. So there you see the heat change. Antonio Sanchez moving to second. Juan de los Reyes. Score not enough. So he's still in third place. He's looking for the update from our live beach announcer, Mauricio. Juan with a 3.9 on his last wave.
Oh, Rowie going left.
10! Oh, no.
Having a look at a Lufthansa and decides not to go. De Los Reyes getting tangled up somehow. And it's all happening.
He got dragged so far. Not sure what happened.
Not much scoring going on, but there is activity. It's kind of a nervy heat, this one. Just needs someone to kind of wrest control, get a clean bomb out the back, kind of surf all the way through and finish up on the inside with a few turns. But it is wide, wide open, and I feel like that rain's just going to pass on by. It's going to walk on by and leave us with drier conditions throughout this Saturday as we approach lunchtime. And possibly, very likely to be our penultimate day of the season on the APP World Tour. Here's Sanchez having a scratch, and he's up, engages the inside rail, accelerates down the line, nice little drag under the lip, tucks the back knee in, and there goes the exit. And Rowe in first place prior to that last goal coming in. Here goes Rowe, Nice off the bottom, nice and
Oh.
dynamic. Swinging those hips around. And gets a little caught there.
He didn't like the finish either. So just a smaller wave, you can see the competitors adjusting. I think it's better to go the opposite way, to not waste time. What we've seen in several heats, they're wasting time looking for a big one, and then at the end of the heat, they're scrambling for the small one. I think we saw Clement use the reverse strategy, getting a couple small ones, and then increasingly looking for bigger waves.
Sanchez, busy. Ripping one off the top. He's a little confused with his paddle, swirling that thing around. It's not super pretty, but nevertheless, it's kind of functional as he gets a little bounce to a fail on the inside. Here it goes, De Los Reyes. And a smaller wave from him as he'll whip this one around, finds himself in third. This is a real tight heat, just over a point between everybody prior to a couple of scores coming in. And he finishes off on the inside. So better finish from him. He's right on the rocks there, just using that swimming stroke, trying to stay off them and avoid getting dragged back. As our drone will do a little flyby of the channel. See these sets marching on in to the right-hander at El Lorette.
That drone operator's got great roommates. I mean, he really does. That much we know for sure.
Well, they're not. If they were that good roommates, they'd probably know his name rather than call him that drone operator, wouldn't they? You would have thought. You thought they'd at least ask when they introduced themselves and made him a cup.
How can they not know his name?
Cup of tea on arrival. It's us, by the way, in case you're wondering. He's there with us. Aaron Rowe in the white, second place at the most. Scoreboards have kind of decompressed a bit. De Los Reyes opens up a bit of a lead with a combined score of 8.2. Aaron Rowe, 7-4, good enough for second at the moment. Sanchez, are we going to get a number coming for him? I think we are. Might not improve on his top two though. At the moment he's in third now. We're getting close to 5-minute warning. Are we going to shuffle the pack?
It is going to be a pack shuffling frenzy in these last 5 minutes. As we've seen in so many of these heats, lots of action coming at the end. A flurry of action. So Juan managing to go from third to first, and we see Aaron Rowe trying to fight back. That was a similar finish to his last wave. Antonio Sanchez was in the lead. He's now in third. Aaron Rowe has been in the lead. He's now in second. So we've seen a lot of flip-flopping of the places. And all that matters is who is in the lead at the end. So Juan de los Reyes in the lead at the right time. Antonio Sanchez looking for those insiders still. A little deep on that when he pulls out. Come on, go get a bomb, Antonio. Por favor, una bomba. La más larga ola, la más alta ola que es posible. Oh, good duck dive right there. Standing duck dive, and we see some lines approaching on the horizon. Juan de los Reyes, Aaron Rowe in position. Aaron Rowe out of position. Antonio Sanchez in too far. Juan de los Reyes in the lead, in position for una bomba. Vamos a ver. We're going to see what happens.
3:30 to go on the clock. One of our Spaniards leads the Jersey surfer, Aaron Rowe, at the moment. Sanchez back in third. Clock will get eaten up a little bit as we see the trademark figure of that man, Luis Denise, in with a strong shout at the title. Here goes De Los Reyes with a bomb. Good entry from him. Nice little snap as well. Can he consolidate first place? He will if he nails this turn. That's good. Much more speed. He's going about 3 times as fast as he did on his previous wave. And he'll finish off strong on his feet there. So much better stuff from Juan de los Reyes. probably improve his lead, and this will shape up to maybe be a tussle between that man there, Sanchez, and Aaron Rowe, as to who goes through with him.
And we saw Juan de los Reyes go right by Aaron Rowe, who's been duck diving waves. By duck diving, I mean without his board, just diving under waves. By my count, about a dozen waves. He got caught inside, and he got pushed all the way from the takeoff zone all the way to the inside. Luis Diniz is going to jump out right out and say hi to Aaron Rowe. With just 2 minutes left.
All right, Sanchez doesn't need a big score here, but he does need a wave. Has he found one? It's a soft entry. He's eventually in. He's wiggling. There's a nice little clip. And he won't get another turn. I've seen a lot of that from him. A lot of that one turn. And then the wave runs away. And that's not really the sort of thing he was after. Looks like Luis Diniz has safely got off the rocks for the time being. Current will just pick him up, kind of drag him out wide.
He's looking for a 3.1. Sanchez is.
Not a big number, is it? You got to think. I wonder if he knows. He should know. It's not a long way out. Our beach announcers relaying the scores. You got to be thinking of that score in mind when you take a wave, particularly when the person who's surfing against is down, floundering on the inside, out of contention. As we see Juan de los Reyes, after sort of tentative 2/3 of the heat, just kind of turned the screw a little bit, has found the best waves. His last one, given a little bit of extra spring in his step as well. Last minute now, there's Aaron Rowe, got himself in the spot here, and wants to hold off any potential late charge from Sanchez. Here goes Rowe, nice off the bottom, little flick off the top from him. Lateral surfing. It's not going to be a huge point scorer. He'll bring that in from there. Needs to do it carefully through the rock garden.
Is that the same board he was on yesterday? He just seemed a little bit, seemed like he was smoother yesterday. That board not quite working as well as we have seen him surf in the Red Bull Expression session and yesterday.
All right, de los Reyes found himself an absolute bomb here in the final 10 seconds. Look at the speed from him. Hit it. Oh, wanted him to take on that section. It was always going to run away. So, there it is. It'll be Juan de los Reyes. And this man, this will be after the horn. This isn't counting. He'll be in third place. Aaron Rowe will advance in second.
Sorry about that, Paul. I didn't mean to go away from you, but I had to say congratulations to Felipe on a great event and give him props for going left. He paid the price, but I can appreciate the left.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
All right, let's get a final heat round 3 underway. Before we do that, let's revisit the official results. De los Reyes Rowe, year 1-2. It's a low-scoring affair. Antonio Sanchez in third, Wubao out. So well done to Rowe and De los Reyes. And that'll set up sweetly our final heat of this round. We'll approach midday on Saturday, fine Saturday in Gran Canaria. Luis Diniz, Guillermo Robello, Federico Benatolo.
This is one of our last name differences, Guillermo Robello Carrecera, as we've seen on our heat draw. So we're kind of like Will Ferrell. We'll just read whatever you put in front of us. Little Anchorman-itis. And Luis Diniz just right on the buzzer. He's found himself a little bit of a wave just to get going, just to get warmed up, to get the priority system in play. Luis right now will have third priority, so he'll have to give way to the other two competitors. They're still fighting for priority. And there you see a beautiful shot right there. There's the APP World Tour Love Bus in the red. You can see my hand waving right off the top of the bus. Luis Denise on the bottom of the screen on the right-hand side. Shows you where the brake is, that right-hand point brake. And nothing but rocks. There is no sand. It is only rocks on the inside. And white having a look. That is Federico Benetolo from Italy. And we've got Brazil versus Spain versus Italy, South America versus Europe. And Luis Denise turning and burning again. He's in a heat by himself. And Luis Denise didn't like the looks of that one. And if you see on that shot right there to the right of the love bus, there's a couple of guys getting pounded trying to get in. And here is our surfer in yellow, Guillermo Carnicera, and he pulls out. That's a frothy one there as well. And we are watching. Oh, can one of the cameras find Max Torres from the last heat? Oh, man, a couple of guys struggling on the inside. There's Guillermo from Spain. He's trying to make it into round 4. The winner of this heat will surf against Aaron Rowe, who's still trying to make it in from his last heat. And second place from this heat will surf against Juan de los Reyes. There you see a couple of small scores getting locked in. And Antonio Sanchez from the last heat trying to make it in. And those guys were flirting with the rocks over there.
They've actually moved back out the seat. Hope everyone makes it in all right. It is super tricky down here. Challenging arena for our athletes. Final heat of this round 3. I'm going to smash on through to round 4. I've just had an orange and got a little burst of sugar, so I'm fired up.
You! Those guys should be flirting with the girls, not flirting with the rocks.
Well, they've actually aborted that effort to come in. Down the end of the wave, it's actually super tricky coming in, almost easier kind of in front of the area because all that energy is kind of focusing down on the end. The shore break's actually just chewing the rocks down there.
Yeah.
And it's steep and vertical. If you can kind of avoid the pinballs out in front, it's actually probably a bit easier to come in. The white ones is a bit more mellow straight in front.
Yep, right on that right-hand side of the screen there. So you kind of want to ride a wave like we saw Julien Bouillet come straight in through there. The wave, the white water dissipates and kind of lets you in. I mean, it's still tricky, but down the beach, the waves are actually breaking onto the rocks. And we're about 4 minutes into this heat, and guys from the last heat are basically halfway to the takeoff zone. They paddled back out to sea to try to get out. Here's Guillermo having a look at that one. Didn't like it. Pulls right out. Federico spinning around. You see Luis Denise standing on his board right there.
Benetolo having a look here. Found himself a wave. Here he is. Nice little section. Standing up all shiny for him. There's a nice clip off the top. But his ball goes down the elevator. And he kind of stayed in the same place. And as a result, he goes down. Luis Denise, ton of speed, boom, off the top. There's the whip. And again, there's the combo. Smooth as you like. Strong, powerful, cushioning off the legs. Beautiful.
Just 2 turns, but a great combination, great commitment. That first turn, that was a bigger wave as well. So I think that score is going to be close to the excellent range, possibly into the excellent range. I'm giving it an 8.2. I mean, that was, especially turn number 2, super committed.
8.2.
8.2.
Specific,
Yes. Just throwing it out there.
I see how it comes in. I know it's still hurting a little bit from earlier. I get it. I'd be the same. Oh, okay. Aaron Rose in.
If they go to the right just a little bit, you'll see.
All right. Let's check out Guillermo out back. Boom. Nice little Rio from him. Super vertical.
Pencil dive is popular today. So Antonio Sanchez trying to get out. Oh. And he did it. So those guys came a lot further. Oh, he's still struggling.
Alrighty, 18.50 in this. Luis Denise's score is in. And it's a 7.83, 7-8-3 for Luis Denise.
Yeah, I'd love to put that 7-8-3 against the 7-8-7 from Daniel Hughes and the 8-1-7 from Wellington Raish and compare the three completely different types of waves and see how the judges come up with those scores. So Luis Denise, 2-turn combo, 7-8-3, booyah. And putting the pressure right away on Guillermo and Federico. I mean, but they had to have known that they were in for a challenge surfing against Luis Denise, two-time ISA gold medalist, currently second place ratings leader.
All right, let's go down and hear from the winner of the last heat. Juan de los Reyes is standing by with Danny.
Hey Juan, good job out there. How was it for you? And especially being here in Spain must be very good for you.
Yeah, I feel so good for this competition in Spain, in home. And yeah, the condition is so big, it's incredible, the waves, and yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah. Las Palmas is a great wave, no? Tell us a bit about this wave in El Lloret.
Yeah, El Lloret is my first time in El Lloret, and yeah, it's an amazing wave. Yesterday I saw a little surf in the afternoon, but yeah, I feel good. The wave is so strong, it's good.
Well, again, congratulations. Big effort out there, and it seems to be getting bigger every minute.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
Good job, Juan.
Thank you.
All right, well done, Juan, and great beard for a junior. Really impressive thick beard. Let's pick up Luis Denise. Bang! Off the top. And he is absolutely flying. That's the end of a wave. He's just ripped the bag out of that one all the way down the line.
That was a huge wave.
Just smashing it. And he's loving this wave. Already in this heat, building up healthy numbers.
Because we can't replay it. Oh, that wave. That's going to be an excellent score. This one's got to be in the excellent range. That last turn was so committed.
Live action. It's Guillermo and Amarillo pumping down the line. Little chatter off the board. Little redirect off a soupy section. And he will disappear behind the rocks down there where it all gets kind of nasty and dry.
I mean, he went so far down.
Yeah, he went a long way down. Let's have another look here at Benetolo.
Oh, we got the replays back. Yes, nosedive. And this is the one. So that's turn 2 right there. And then this is the third closeout turn right there. Oh man. And there was at least one more turn out the back. I'm not sure if that's going to be the excellent, but I'm loving it. That's probably going to come in just under his 7.83. But how's Guillermo just all the way in to the rocks? Luis is waving hi to us as well. We got some drums playing.
The drum circle's back. Sounds like they're incoming. It's all fun and games the first couple of times, isn't it? But imagine living near it. You know, imagine the sort of 38th time you heard that routine. You'd be thinking about an air rifle, wouldn't you?
Yeah, quite loud as well. And just on stun, you know, not trying to hurt anyone.
No, not to shoot anyone. I mean, I'd shoot the skin on the drum, obviously.
Yeah.
Stop the sound.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't shoot a human. All right, there's a little sweep past to the promenade, and we're checking out the lineup at El Lloret.
Oh, look at that set coming. Oh, my goodness. Who's going to be in position? Last score for Luis Denise, 667. So he's continuing to assert his dominance in this heat as well as his other heats. So far, all of our red jerseys advancing through the rounds. Through this round, I should say. So we're in the last heat of round 3. We're going right into round 4, setting up Poi Nike Rioja and Mehdi Odwani in heat 1. Morocco versus Tahiti. Heat 2, Mo Money, Mo Problems, Mo Mouch versus Clement Rezero. Heat 3, Daniel Hughes versus Sean Pointer. They're living together. They started a business together. They get coached together, and they are going to knock. One of them's knocking the other one out. Julien Boyer, Wellington race in heat 4, and here we have live action. Federico Benetolo.
Ciao, ragazzo. Here he goes, heading down the line with some speed. Nice bang off the top. Wave will go flat, and he will redouble his efforts. You see that crease going through. That spells danger to me. And he wants to watch out down in here because he's going to get real close to the rocks. He's taking risks. Look how close he is in there. Dude, that was risky, putting that maneuver up there. And he seems fine, but he is real close to that rock wall down in there.
He's not even looking. He probably surfs at home somewhere with rocks because he is not concerned at all. No te preocupe. Here we see that hit. We've got action on the playground as well. Oh, they're stopped now, but wait till they start going again. Little surfer kids on skateboards ripping in the park. And we've got a little big wheel happening. Oh, that thing's electric. That's what's going on. It's an electric scooter out there.
All right, 11 to go. Out in the water, Luis Denise streaks ahead at the moment. He's put some serious Canarian daylight between him and everyone else. How are we thinking about tides? What's going on? What are you looking at here?
Just checking how the tide's filling in. So we've got another about 3 hours to go. 2:35 is the high tide.
Wow, so only mid now. Wow.
I know, which means that the waves are going to be breaking on the rocks.
Interesting tidal, if you're interested in tidal curves, which obviously we all are, right? Interesting curve here in the Canaries, real steep. So you don't get much what they call lag time or slack water. So it doesn't stay high or low for very long. Some curves are kind of flattened out, but here you literally have a kind of short period and then you're dropping or rising real quick and sharp all the way through to the height.
But that's because of the position we are with the moon right now, full moon. So I don't think it's a Canary Islands thing.
The curve will be relate to the place.
Really?
Yeah, the height of the tide, the range between high or low will be a function of where the moon is.
Right.
But actually the shape of the curve is characteristic to a spot.
Ah.
Yeah.
So the shape varies day to day, but has kind of the similar.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And
so like in Canada, you have these huge places.
to do with
these huge.
that's all to do with tidal distortion. Essentially, is why you get where it is, which is a result of where you are on the planet.
Right.
In relation to things called amphidromes, which are regions where there are no tide, which will really distort a curve. Basically, all the factors that cause tide will, in some places, just cancel themselves out.
Right.
Might be inland actually, but what it does is distort the tidal curve, and also sort of friction of the continents. And you're thinking of Bay of Fundy in particular,
Yes.
world's largest tidal range.
Yes.
That's a lot to do with the shape of the estuary.
Right.
And that real funnels in and distorts. There's a bunch of facts. It's actually really confusing. Tidal harmonics.
I love tidal harmonics.
But the shape of the curve will be characteristic to a spot.
Okay.
And if we think about the English Channel and kind of a little bit north of where Aaron Rowe's from, in Southampton you actually get double high tide. So if you look at the tide will be high, start to go out, then it'll actually rise back up again a little bit. Won't get as high as actual high tide, but
Right.
just go back up before it goes down again. It does that every day.
Very interesting tidal conversation.
Yep.
Another bomb set Everyone's scratching for the horizon. And someone's in position. Oh, here's yellow. Guillermo. And he's in.
Whoa, going a million miles an hour. Look at the speed wobbles like bombing a hill on a skateboard. And he just gets swallowed alive. And you see that red board pinged out from under the white water. Meanwhile, outside, Benetolo won't get an entry. That's a bomb. And it will detonate without him. Luis Denise is staying out of trouble out back and being a little more selective. Great tactic.
Great tactic, especially when you're in the lead. And Federico having a look at this smaller one. And you can see all the white water from the previous two waves. And he's trying to get into advancement position. That's not going to do it for him. We heard of a place called Skookumchuck, also in Canada. It is one of the great tidal change places that has become a tourist destination. And here's a look at last wave ridden from our surfer in red, Guillermo Carnicero, just getting swallowed up. And same thing on a frothy one, Federico. Nice turn, and then just gets eaten alive right about in the same spot. So Skookumchuck's inland from Canada, in Canada, just above Vancouver. And it's this little rocky bottom place that as the tide changes, it's a huge tidal swing. And it actually creates these whirlpools. So it creates a standing wave, and then down the way it creates these whirlpools that suck you under. And it is, people go there, you know, there's a little hiking trail and they go just to actually see the whirlpools, but it's also a kayak surfing destination. So kayakers go and it creates this beautiful standing wave. And it can go from completely flat, then as the tide changes it starts to build, and it's one of the biggest standing waves, nature-made standing waves. A couple times a month it breaks. And there's been a couple of stand-up surfers that have surfed it through the years as well. But quite a sketchy, dangerous place. Skookumchuck. It's also fun to say. Luis Tinguis, 7.83, 6.67. Total heat score of 14.5 with 6 minutes to go. He's just cruising.
Of relaxation. And Atolo is the man with a little bit of work to do at the moment. Coming from third, doesn't need a big number though. It's a low requirement of a 3 for the Italian to attack the Spaniard's second spot. 1 and 2 advance, third bows out and disappears into the Canarian night. A lot of festivities going on in Las Palmas at the moment. Bit of a party scene last night in the old town. A little look around down there, and there's so much cool stuff to do and check out. Most of it is relatively new, but there is a cool little old part of town. And nice little kind of tree-lined avenues and plazas down there. Some of the kind of colonial style architecture as well. On the beachfront, it's mainly kind of newer, but there is like a harbour, basically a port across inland from us. We're actually kind of on a big strip of land.
There I am. You can see me waving my hands on the top of the love bus right there. Ooh, there's Paul and I. Yeah, there it is, the APP Love Bus.
Alrighty, Benetolo looking to get out of third. He'll get hung up here and won't get an entry. Just kind of got a little back on his heels, and that wave going a lot faster than any kind of speed he could muster with his paddle.
And he looks around and sees this.
Denise on a bomb, but too much of a bomb. He's a bit deep behind it, and he'll just casually exit.
Federico just getting drilled. Luis wants a priority situation. He paddled for that wave. So there you see the change on screen. Look at the white water covering the entire bay. That was a giant set right there. And look at the white water. Yep. How do you get in?
Oh, you see the channel there? Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Brutal. All right, finishing off Benetolo. There's a nice little turn. We picked him up on there. And there's a jam. He needed to make that. Doesn't need a big number. And he did need to finish off his wave in there. Toinaki Raioa.
Yes, we get to see him again. 3.84. That's the score Federico's looking for.
And I think Point Nike, he stepped up to his 711 there. That's not his 7.2 anymore. Going with the quad setup, you can see. Looks like, oh, here's
Ooh.
a good wave.
This is an absolute bomb. A low line, a patient game. And we will see some wobbles and some bobbles. No real damage done maneuvers-wise. You'll be feeling good about surfing this wave, but judges won't be getting overly seduced by what got done there. Possibly a missed opportunity to slam the door shut on the Italian surfer.
Let's see, we're waiting for scores. And here's a replay right here of the last one ridden by Federico. And you can see just a mid-face turn there, just smaller wave after the huge set, one of the bigger sets. And he comes undone anyway. Here's that wave, a lot of fun to ride, not a whole lot of scoring. He's trying to find the line so he can find a little room to make something happen. And just fluffs one off the top there. Little carving turn, jumps off. There's Medi. No deck grip on that one. Not even on the tail. Nope. No tail pad, no stomp pad.
Not too happy with the wax job there. Looks very kind of grey.
Mediocre, yeah. It doesn't have good bumps at all.
Bit dirty.
We'll have to help him out as we go into the second hour of our drumming happening. Not sure where these guys are, but don't they know we're trying to have a contest over here? Where is this drumming coming from? So we're in the last heat of our three-person heats. Coming up for the remainder of the event on the men's side is man-on-man heats. The women will have a couple of multi-person heats because we're going to open their round. Women have not surfed yet. There are 8 women here, 8 of the top women in the world gathered on the Canary Islands. Louise Denise, live action.
Here goes Denise, sluicing off the bottom, juicing off the top. Look at that beautiful shot from the drone.
Yes.
As you see the nice curves of El Loretz just flaunting for Luis Denise. As he'll keep on jamming, and there is a nice vertical hit on the end. He manages to get a little claim just before the rocks.
Look at, oh my God.
That's really nasty, really, really nasty. It's got that end section where as you finish that last turn, you actually seem to accelerate. Don't you? Almost like your speed picks up as you head towards those rocks.
And just a little bit of a bobble on the bottom turn. The second bottom turn much better. Comes off the top, right in the pocket there. You can see him eyeing the lip. Beautiful looking turn. Slides the fins. And then sets up for this one. And then one more finishing turn. Bang! Right there on the rocks. Great combination from Luis Denise. That score, I think, might better his situation. But he's got a stranglehold on the heat so far. As this heat winds down, Luis Denise will be moving on, as well as we're waiting for scores. This ride doesn't appear to be on in time. Oh, goes down anyway. So we're waiting for final scores. Let's see what Luis Denise gets. So we're waiting for the final score. And 757 for Luis Denise to go with his 783. Total heat score 15.4. That's a solid round for Luis Denise. He will match up against Aaron Rowe. And round 4 of the men preparing. We've got Poinaki Rioja versus Mehdi Odwani. And I'm trying to see who got second place there. Back to the men. Circling through the stacked app.
Pretty sure it's Guillermo got the second. Choose the last name that tickles your fancy. I'm going to go with Robeo. All right, we're getting ready to start round 4. And our first heat of that round, we'll see Poinaki Rioja take on Mehdi Udani. There's the official result. Guillermo Robelo advances alongside Luis Denise. Benatolo narrowly misses out. Now, Anthony, what can Mehdi Udani do to upset Poinaki Rioja? Poinaki's going to have the jump on him in terms of maneuvers, in terms of skills. So, how can he take him down out here? What's he got to do?
He's got to not let him get these waves.
Poinaki waiting for this one to stand up, which it'll do nicely. With a vicious first stalling snap maneuver. Drawn out bottom turn. And he'll go an uncharacteristic error. Meanwhile, Mehdi behind him found himself a nice little slopey number here. There's that turn that he does a little bit early for our liking in the early rounds. And he'll swoop off a rail.
Yeah, I think in order for Mehdi to advance over Poinaki, I mean, it's so hard in a 25-minute heat where it's man-on-man with priority. I mean, the only thing I can think of is probably cutting his leash or something. That would be the first move. There's Luis Denise. He's got a smile. Made it through his heat. And we'll see a replay right here. Here's Poinaki opening up off the bottom, waiting patiently for this turn. And slashes that white water. And there, just a little bit.
Not looked quite himself so far today, has he?
Not at all.
Think about his earlier heat that he had a ton of mistakes in that one. He made about as many mistakes in that heat as he has all season, really.
In one heat, yes. And, I mean, I hate to keep harping on it, but nobody warmed up this morning. And, you know, maybe they're waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for, but in our dynamic venue, you want to surf this wave. I would just be out there just for the fact of catching a few waves at El Lloret.
All right, well, while we wait for early scores to trickle in, we're going to go down and hear from a man who's all smiles. Luis Denise is in that world title race. He's standing by with Danny.
Hey, Luis. Good to see you again. How was it? What a heat. Looked pretty intense out there.
I'm so happy, thanks God, in your opportunities. I got 2 good scores. Focus next round. E é isso, obrigado a todos pela torcida. Vamos que vamos, próximo round. Glória a Deus.
Thank you. He says thank you, and he's very grateful to be here as well, and he's looking forward to the next round.
Thanks, Danny. And live action here is current ratings leader, last year's event champion, Poinaki Rioja. And he's got some room to work with, lots of speed. Boom, that's the Poinaki we know. That's the Poinaki we don't know. Falling on his back, on his butt, trying to ride out of it.
No, he wants to get out of there because I was going to end up on the rocks. So I wanted him. He was cockroaching on his board there, and I was just like, dude, get off that thing. Otherwise, it's going to take you onto the rocks, kind of backwards, head first. So, again, another mistake from him. And he is so close to those rocks in there. Think about that leash and the weight of that board pulling on it. Let's hope board and body emerges okay from in there. He seems to be making some progress to get out of there. But uncharacteristic from him. 2 waves, 2 wipeouts. It's not what we expect from our world number 1. Let's have another look to see what happened.
And this one, I thought it started off good. He looked like he had a great bottom turn, and just his timing is just a little off.
Maybe the back foot slipped, and the front foot stayed on the board, and I think that's kind of why he stayed above the board. He kind of couldn't wipe out, kind of thing, couldn't get off. So he is leaving a big opportunity for Mehdi Udani just to try and get some points going of his own. He's all in the lineup by himself. And he's going to be looking to build something. As our lifeguards, the wetsuit's half on. That's a good, coming up towards 5 hours now with the wetty half on. It's getting warm and it's getting moist.
Oh man, Proactiva. Definitely have to be proactive as a lifeguard, and that's why they're wearing the wetsuits already preemptively, just in case. It's going to be a slow reaction time if you got to put your whole wetsuit on.
Yeah, but there was 21 degrees anyway. Surfers and shorts, do you really need a wetsuit to rescue? I don't think you do. That's a
I'm
weird,
not one
weird
to judge
thought.
another
But you're going
lifeguard.
to waste time doing the rest of the wetsuit up anyway, putting the arms in.
And you're a lot slower as well, but I
Yeah.
think what they're preparing for is a long time in the water in a worst case scenario.
Sounds like the worst rescue ever then. In that. Can I hide? Yeah, can I get a slow rescue, please? Hey, come on.
Oh,
I mean, you're the man with the lifeguard and expertise, so I defer to your higher knowledge of that. But just, as a layman, a layperson.
I also have worked in some of the top lifeguard agencies in the world in LA County and Manly Beach, Australia, and I hate to second guess another lifeguard, but you figure the jet skis on the trailer all day, not prepared for a quick launch, and same thing, the wetsuit. It's going to take time to put the top on. You really don't need a wetsuit out there. You need your fins. That's pretty much about it. I think these guys are, I don't want to say there for show, but if something really were to happen, it's going to be a tough call for them to go down the rocks and actually help. I think the surfers will be better help for themselves.
First of all, they got to find their rash guard. Hey, has anyone seen my rash guard? Looking around the car park with the lycra.
Oh, there you see
Nasty.
what these surfers have to deal with.
Oh, Poinaki, can he get going here? Nice rip off the top. We'll get a little hung up, and then he'll steer the ship down into a nice bottom turn. There's a nice drag under the lip. And again, he'll swoop off the rail. This is better stuff from him. And he'll finish off with a kick out in front of the rocks. And it's going to be better. He's got a couple of twos so far. Better stuff from Poinaki.
I didn't think he knew how to get a two. I'm very perplexed by that. Again, going back to the no warm-up. No, I'm just joking. All kidding aside, I know the lifeguards are well prepared. They train hard. They'll be ready to execute any rescue that happens. Wetsuit, no wetsuit. They know their waters better than us. We're confident in their abilities.
so we've got Heat 1 in the water right now. We'll see the Germany-France showdown in Heat 2. Mo Mouch and Rosero Clement throwing down the 817 early in the day, showing everyone how to do it. And then the Daniel Hughes, Sean Pointer matchup.
Here's Poinanki. Just a playful little wave for him. Sliding the tail. And takes that one down the rest of the way to the rocks. Here's Mehdi Odwani.
Odwani swooping. Don't like that combo of turns personally. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Little chop hop to Finchuk.
On a speedy part of the wave.
Keeps going off the bottom and just jamming into that snap turn. And he's almost the lower third of the wave still when he's trying to do that snap. Weird place to put that turn.
Yep, that first turn he got a little bit higher. I think if we were to give him some coaching tips, it would be to engage the rail a little bit longer. The judges love to see that, and also it's very functional. So engaging the rail is something that's part of the scoring criteria. That's how you have the most dynamic surfing and keep the most speed. Benoit Carpentier does a great job of that, just going rail to rail, especially on his cutbacks.
Benoit Carpentier's great English, isn't he? Almost better than Danny's. I'd say. Danny is actually British.
Danny just mumbles a lot. In all of the languages, he speaks like 7 languages, met his brother in France, and they both mumble. You can hear the first 3 words they say, but you can't hear anything else.
Doing a great job with the interviews though,
Yeah,
Danny
he
Pelletier.
is.
He's killing it down there. Here goes Poinaki on a bomb. Look at the bouncy airdrop down. And he'll flick around that one. Just expelled most of its energy on the initial takeoff section. Ooh, he likes a little bit of a paddle for priority here. So he caught Udani napping, and he's like, you know what? I fancy me some prio.
Let's see how the judges rate the priority battle. Poinanki just staying busy.
Revisiting that question, what can Udani do to beat Matt? He needs to compete more. He needs to be sharper with stuff like that with getting priority. Those are the kind of little marginal things that he can affect. He can't do anything about how good Poinanki surfs, but he can do stuff about that, and he needs to get a little bit more engaged and make sure he gets that priority. Don't leave those little margins open. Just try and up the intensity a little bit and see where the scoreboard leaves him. Meanwhile, here's a bomb. He did get the priority, so he did well, and that's an absolute bomb. And he manages to swing the board around. He almost had his nose pointing back deep left. And he needs to get a turn out here as he will push wider and wider and eventually kick out. So he did well to nail that bomb.
But just to tag along with what you're talking about, I think it's the intention of his paddling as well. I mean, you see Luis Diniz after a wave, he's paddling out fast. You're going up against the current ratings leader, one of the best to ever compete in the tour. Battle him out there in every way that you can, including paddle speed. And at least let the judges know and everyone know that you have intentions of competing and battling. And I think that's a great point that you bring up. And Mehdi needs to just attack a little bit more. And, you know, some people, it's not in their character, you know, to have that attack mode. But that's the beauty of competition, is it challenges your character to sometimes take you out of your comfort zone. And that's where Mehdi needs to go right now. He needs to go to a whole next level. He can't surf or compete at the level he's used to. He has to compete above and beyond anything that he's ever done in order to take out Poinanki Rioja.
Modest Mouse getting ready for his heats.
He's liking the drums. He's playing along.
Feeling the percussion. Not a huge lead for Rioja at the moment, the Tahitian. Not a massive score. As we will see a little set stack up here. Any takers? Looks like Poinanki's vaguely interested.
Yep, the set's swinging a little bit wide.
All right, we're going to get a quick commercial break. Join us for more live action. Can Udani come back at Rioja? Find out right after this.
In 1912, the Hawaiian father of modern-day surfing, Duke Kahanamoku, expressed a dream that his beloved surfing could one day become an Olympic sport. As the world governing body of surfing recognized by the International Olympic Committee, the ISA made pursuing the Duke's dream part of its mission. In August 2016, the ISA made the dream come true, successfully gliding to include surfing in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Since 1964, the ISA has been working to create a better world through surfing by crowning world champions, awarding scholarships, instructor certification courses, adaptive surfing championships, and spreading the sport to all continents through their 101 member nations and counting. The ISA will continue to use surfing to change the world, one surfer at a time, through Tokyo 2020 and beyond.
the Gran Canaria Pro-Am, round 4 of competition on our men's division. First heat of that round sees the world number 1 and front runner for the 2019 world title, Poenaki Raioa, taking on the young up-and-coming Moroccan Mehdi Udani.
And Mehdi is in full panic mode because to the right of him, he is just scraping for the horizon. Poenaiki's way outside, and look at Poenaiki's getting caught inside.
That's a 10-foot set right there. That's an absolute bomb. Biggest set of the day by far, and there's a bunch more waves as well. And what was that little sort of submission? It's like, I'm going to tap out. Oh, I don't want to tap out. It is big and booming and brutal in there. And I tell you what, there's nowhere to escape to. It's not like you can even come in.
It's more dangerous coming in.
Swells are just chewing dry rocks down on the inside. It's all going to be a real important time to paddle out.
There's another love bus. That one's on the road, though. Yeah, I mean, this is that long period that we're talking about. The wave height isn't, super big. It's not 10 foot plus, on the forecast. But it's the high period, between 14 and 16 seconds through the whole day. And that means we're going to see sets like that. For sure, the biggest set we've seen of the day. Saw a couple of those earlier, and man, that was exciting. Nothing happened except for excitingness. And you can see these guys trying to get in the water, how difficult it is right there. Oh, they're almost going, and then nope, they're waiting for this. You got to push off the rock and get in front of it.
Done by Maurice there. Moritz Mouch.
And strength in numbers, you definitely want to go with somebody. It helps to kind of time it together. They're probably talking, this one? Oh, maybe one more. Next one. Sometimes that works for you or against you. You wait too long.
All right, meanwhile, getting tossed about in a lively ocean, Raioa and Udani. Here goes Poenaki. Looks interested. No, doesn't like the look of that. And Udani just been absolutely battered by that set. He's all composed and fine and gathered.
And what a great forecast we have. We see these big sets rolling through today. Tomorrow should be slightly smaller, still with a pretty significant period. And we're going to see it being a little bit more organized, I believe, tomorrow. The winds are still light. And 2 great days of surfing here at El Lloret. This is just awesome. I cannot wait for the women coming up later. We're in heat 1 of 8, round 4 of the men, and then we'll get started with our women. We've got 2 heats of 4 for the women, and then top. First place will advance into round 3. Second, third, and fourth will go in the repechaje round. The jet ski is sitting so far outside, did not get cleaned up from those sets. Lifeguards have good communication to let the jet ski know if there is anything that happens. Maybe one thing Mehdi could be doing as well is just trying to distract Poenaki, maybe talking to him, asking him about Tahiti, if he misses his family, things like that.
Poisson cru.
Poisson cru.
He doesn't miss his grandparents because they're here.
Oh yeah, you mean Michelle and Edwige? They are here. They're downstairs watching for sure. As we see the beach just filling in right there. How's that shot?
All right, what do we got here? Looks like, ooh dear, so who's got priority here? And it must be that man, Poenaki, because with confidence he attacks that turn. So he had prio, and Udani, what are you doing? Really, he must not have known.
Poenaki's showing him. He's like, hey, look at the board.
thinking that maybe was a moment of madness from Poenaki, but he knew he had priority. Now, are we going to get a call against Adani here?
I think we should. And unfortunately for Poenaki, you know, because he couldn't eye where he wanted to go, he had to make sure Mehdi wasn't going to turn into him just for the safety of him and his board. So the judges will decide if Mehdi interfered with scoring potential. I believe he did for sure.
Yeah, and even when he took off, he could have then at that stage just got out of the way. He kind of pumped a bottom turn stuff towards him, and that's not really what you want to do.
Yeah. Let's see what the judges think.
All right, here goes Adani. Finds himself an inside wave. Little fade back. And then try to come around a section.
Wow.
And he'll flick off.
So it is official call from the judges. Interference call, white on red. So Mehdi Odwani, these are the things that you were talking about, things that he can control, a smart heat, smart tactics. There was the paddle battle that he didn't quite show his intention here, not knowing priority. This is part of competition surfing. There's only two of you in the water, and all you got to do is look up at the love butts, and you'll see the priority board. Wave your hand. If you don't know, the announcer will call it. So these are tips, Mehdi, if you're watching. These are the little points where you have to be on top of your game to take out the ratings leader.
All right, under 3 minutes to go. And the job will come increasingly more difficult for Udani with a prio slapped on him. Let's see. Priority interference. Which means he will half his backup score. You look at Poenaiki's score, it's not a big number for him at all. He's only barely scraped double figures in 22 minutes of surfing in solid 6-foot waves. That is uncharacteristic from the Tahitian. And he's vulnerable out there, and I just wonder if surfers like Luis Denise, like Sean Points, will just be sniffing a little bit of blood. Because he doesn't look like the kind of surfer that we've seen him, who's been pretty much bulletproof throughout. He's looked a little bit shaky and scrappy, maybe saving the best for the final rounds.
It can go both ways, like you said. You know, they're smelling blood, ready to attack, and he's going to step up his game, or, you know, hopefully find his rhythm, or he might just be out of sorts for the whole event. Hopefully for Poenaiki, he's going to try to find his rhythm. The other guys are hoping he doesn't find rhythm, but the other contenders for sure have looked better in these rounds today. Wellington Race, the standout. Luis Denise looking strong. Sean Pointer, score is not high, but he was in control his entire heat. And here he is.
Oh, Inaki found himself a bomb. Up into the lip, good turn, pushing hard. And completing well and late, and he's going to go down on that one. So again, not going to really affect anything the way this heat's going to play out, but just in his own mind, going down on what for him are relatively stock kind of maneuvers. For anyone else that's super technical, that's a late foam climb on a big, powerful section, and maybe you can see a little bit, just feeling a little bit disappointed there with himself. He would like to finish off those waves. Nevertheless, he is going to advance out of this one, but he's actually been pretty lucky that he's come up against an opponent who's not really been able to throw much. This is another look at the interference.
So that was deemed an interference, white on red. Poenaiki had to pause because it looked like Mehdi was pumping right into him.
But even then, you know, we're reading into things. Even then on that turn, he blew that turn as a pretty standard maneuver for him.
Yeah, he's fallen on more turns than he's made.
Let's have another look at it here. I tell you what, at this stage, you'd probably be thinking that Sean Pointer and Luis Denise were thinking, please, I really hope Mehdi's got priority here, because this is major. This could be of serious significance. He's not going to make mistakes like that. He's getting to advance. It's not super convincing. It doesn't matter. He'll wash that off and reprocess. We won't see him surf again today. That'll be it for him. So he can come back tomorrow for finals day, we think, with a brand new vibe. But he's kind of eked and squeaked through today.
6-1-4, 6-1-7 and a 4, not the heat total. Poinike throws away sixes more than anyone else. And look at him come straight into the rocks.
He's beached it down in the corner there.
There he is. Look at him. He just took that whitewater. No worries. That's the fastest exit we've seen from Poinike. Our camera guys are doing a great job. I want to see everyone's exit. Equally as entertaining. As we set up Heat 2, round 4. In the water in white on the right side of your screen, that is Clement Rosero. Log that 817 in round 3, and Moritz Mauch in red.
So, Germany versus France. I think Germany by way of Canary Islands, very comfortable going down to the rocks like a locals, flying the German flag, but honing the surf skills in the Atlantic Islands. As with many, there's a strong contingent of second generation surfers from the Northern European nations. You think about Liam Dunkerbeck, of course, most famously earlier on. But a lot of shredders moved over here in the 80s and in the 90s, and now their kids are the current generation of ripping locals.
And we're still waiting for scores from that last heat. That's why these guys are still sitting down waiting. And Mehdi Odwani makes it in safely.
Let's go and hear from Poinike. He's standing by down the beach.
Hey, Poinike. Look like some big waves out there now. Je parle en français. C'était des grosses vagues, non, là, maintenant? Tu as pris des bons sets?
D'abord, c'est vraiment dur les conditions aujourd'hui. Hein. Ça bouge beaucoup, il y a beaucoup de courant. Et voilà, j'étais vraiment en difficulté. Mais là, j'ai essayé de tout donner jusqu'au bout. Et pour moi, le principal, ça va, je suis passé. Hein. Je suis en quart de finale et là, je suis content.
Poinike was saying that the currents actually today and the conditions are super hard. But he managed to win his heats and he is obviously into the quarters. So he is very, very happy about that. And he said here in Las Palmas in Lloret, it's a good wave, but hard. Thank you, boy.
Merci.
Merci.
Maururu to Poinike and Danny. So, yeah, I agree with that assessment. It is tricky out there today, and he is through the quarters. Those are basically the key points. He is through, and he's still alive in this competition, and the world title dream is still very much alive for the Tahitian. Shaky performances will be put to the back of the mind and just washed away. Come back tomorrow, brand new day. We'll see that world title duel go down. We sent it to tomorrow with that last result. Bang, off the top there.
Oh, yes.
Rosero, he smashed one massive hanger of a backhand maneuver for an 8 early on this morning. Such a good surfer, this French goofy. And looking sparky already in this one.
That's a different board than he was riding yesterday as well. So I think these guys are on their step-ups or using the next biggest board that they have. I think you definitely need it just to get into the wave, just to have a little extra paddle power to get into the wave. And he's having a look at this one. You can see this one's like a grower. It gets bigger right here. Boom. Great work with his hips to get that turn in. And you can see he noticed the wave, the bottom of the wave drop out. Did a great job on that tail to make sure that he makes the wave. Quick in and out from red, Mo Mauch, Moritz Mauch. There's our Red Bull athletes area, and these chess players on land are going to be playing a chess game in the water in the next heat. That is Sean Pointer versus Daniel Hughes up against each other for the second time this year. Sean Pointer took off Sunset, didn't come to the event. Shows up to New York where he had a great finish last year, winning the event. And Daniel Hughes sent him packing. And they were staying in the same house. It was an awkward night at the team house.
Aqua. Oh, it's Aqua. Name that film.
I don't, oh, can't even.
Powers again.
Oh, see, I've seen him. I don't know. I don't have all. Oh, I remember that part now, yeah. First score being rewarded for the one turn once again, 5.0. Clement Rosero. Clement, new to the APP World Tour. Finished up with a equal 9th place finish at the ISA World Sup and Paddleboard Championships. And here is Clement up and riding again.
Flying down the line. Whoa, taking on a section. He's so good at those backhand turns and he loves it.
How did he make that one? It looked like for sure he was going down.
So the Frenchman there getting radical on the backside and firing himself up in the process as well.
How is that How You Like Me claim too?
Here he goes.
Well done.
Well to control that. He's already claiming it there before he's fully emerged. Cheeky.
He was 3 claims in 1. Oh, and he gets a 7 for that turn to go along with his 5. Whew. Booyah.
So what we're seeing there, the judging panel rewarding big hits on the end. They're really showing the difference between just kind of nursing turns on the open face, which is relatively straightforward, even in big waves like this, solid powered up conditions, to actually taking on a lip and that explosion and all that power of that wave, just unloading in one section. If you can take that on and come off on your board, you're going to get rewarded. And here he goes again. He's snaffled another opportunity. Mouch been a bit frozen out the back. That one isn't going to come to much. Maurice Mouch needs to get skates on here.
He's like, wait, what just happened? Those weren't even good waves. And he's got a 7 and a 5 already in the combination situation. 5 minutes to go, you're comboed.
Oh,
Excuse me, 5 minutes gone.
Good hustle early on from the Frenchman. Plenty of time left for our German, as we'll see sets stack up. Kind of focus on this apex of energy. Still a couple of hours away from the top of the high tide. Around about 6 feet of range, 2 meters in the metric system of range in our tide to date. They're not huge, but nevertheless very significant.
And whoever wins this here, she
hello.
is. Bonjour.
Izzy Gomez, 5-time world champ. Fresh over from Jaws. That's a long flight from Hawaii.
Yeah. She's like, oh, at least the waves are pumping. And how's that for a competition? Ibaya and Shaq going to pick up Izzy. You know, just showing that they want to surf against the best. And we're going to, the women's competition is going to be awesome. Heat 1, Izzy, Gabby, Ibaya, Laura. Heat 2, Fiona, Alafne, Vanya, Shaq. Woo-wee! So currently, in our heat, Moritz Mouch is trying to figure out what just happened. And what happened right there. Whoever wins this heat, one of these two guys will make the quarterfinals for their first time ever in an APP World Tour event. So someone's going to the quarters. Clement getting videoed by the coach there. And so far it's looking like Clement, winner of this heat, gets Poinaki Rioja in the quarterfinals.
awesome. We have both Mauricio and Danny in speaking roles today. Part of our site crew, our site managers.
Yeah, it is a combo for Mouch, but not like a real combo in terms of he's not got anything on the board. If he'd had a couple of decent set ways and had scores, then, you know, a combo seems much more serious. But the fact that he's only really just got a couple of throwaways, he won't be too bothered about that. Plenty of time left. But what he does need to do is aim his scores up to sort of sixes or better ideally. He needs at least combined of 12 points. That heat, the two buddies will park the friendships and leave him in the Red Bull athlete area for the time being. Pointer and Hughes. That looks like a bit of fun.
Yep, that's a great way to get to the venue. And
coming in hot.
When I came last night after the event to look over here to see how the swell was hitting. There's about 6 or 7 of those up in the air. I think they're waiting for the little windy yesterday, but great place too. Not hang gliding, not paragliding. Some sort of gliding. Sort of like paragliding. Live action. Here's Clement Rosario. Beautiful bottom turn off the top once again. He loves letting go of the paddle. That is his go-to maneuver. And here's Maurice Mouch trying to get into the heat on a small wave. It's not going to do it. You got to do what Clement is doing. Go big or be sent home. Clement Rosero. Clement Rosero. One more time. Smacking the lip. I think that's paragliding. You're going to land in the water. Where's he going to land? Oh, he's landing in the skate park. I mean, nope, grassy area over there. Sorry, we're getting distracted by the paraglider, hang glider. And there we see again, Mo Mouch.
Nice little rip off the top for the German. Little combo to a layback jam off the rail. Gets a little bit caught in the white water, so just revisiting that last ride from him, trying to get himself back at the races here. Gets himself a 4.1 for that. Needs to do a little bit better.
Oh, 6.5. He drops the 5. So Clement just continuing to attack. Big waves, big hits, big scores. That's his secret formula. We let the cat out of the bag. It's not so much a secret anymore. Now everybody knows the formula. Big hits, big waves, big scores. Pretty simple. If you also combine that with our previous advice of staying on your board, you're really going to do well. So Moritz Mouch is out of combination situation, but he still needs a score. And here is Clement once again in rhythm. Smaller wave, lots of speed. 2 good turns. Here's turn number 3. Loves to drop the paddle. Then holds onto it, dives off there. I don't think that wave's going to factor in. 3 turns. First one pretty good. Smaller wave. The judges are enjoying the bigger stuff.
All right, let's go down and hear from our 5-time world champion, Izzy Gomez. She's just arrived. And let's have a word in her shell.
Izzy Gomez, you are the APP 2019 World Champ, and you made the effort to get here this morning to complete this race in El Lloret in La Palma de Gran Canaria.
Yeah, it was a super long flight here. I came all the way from Hawaii, actually. I was in Maui. I've been training, and I actually got the first alternate spot for the Jaws event yesterday, but unfortunately everyone showed up, so I got on the next flight here. So my boards didn't make it, so I'm going to borrow a board for my first heat, but I'm stoked to be here, and with all my friends, and there's good waves, so I'm really happy.
And we're definitely stoked to have you here, Izzy. It's always a welcome, and you're such a great part of all the team here.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, and like I said, I'm just like, I don't know, this tour is like my family, so I'm stoked to be here.
Oh, thank you so much, Izzy. That is great, and so happy to have you again.
All right, Izzy Gomez is in the house. Women's action coming up after we complete round 4. She's come all the way from PR Heat on Maui.
Boards didn't make it. So she's going to be surfing a non-infinity board. And I think she might be able to adapt, but definitely going to be tricky in these tricky conditions on a board that you've never ridden. So she'll probably do a little bit of safe surfing. Hopefully her boards will come later on tonight to have her ready for tomorrow if she's able to advance to tomorrow. Izzy Gomez, 12 event wins. And she was hoping one of the girls would have gotten sick on their flight over to Maui so she can get a spot. She had to sit back and watch while her training partners, 2 other youngsters, Annie Reichart and Skylar Lickle, got into the event.
Now, would her paddle go with her boards in the same board bag, or they travel separately?
That's a great question.
Good question, Paul.
Some people put their boards in their paddle, so I would. That's a great question, Paul.
Great question. Has she got her own paddle? She's got to borrow that too.
Board's easier to manage. Riding a board that's not your own. Paddle's a little bit trickier, so we'll have to get down to our sideline reporter Danny and get the info there.
He was almost getting a little emotional then, wasn't he? About, all part of one big family. I almost saw a little bit of moisture welling up in the corner of his eyes there, Danny.
I saw that.
He's an emotional character. He's a big softie. All right, here we go. Here we see our Frenchman, Rosero, as the sunshine pokes through on a Saturday early afternoon. One-handed paddle.
Oh, it's just
He'll bring it down.
Style.
Bang! For a big finish again. He loves the backhand hangers.
And he loves not holding onto the paddle.
Modest Mouch. Off the bottom. Bang! Leans into it a little too much. He's on the wrong end of a scoreline here, and Rosero might improve further. Mouch is a long way back with 9:40 on the clock. How good does that sun feel, Anthony?
Oh, the sun just came out, and we are super stoked about that.
Having a look at a replay here from Frenchie. Just whacking it off the top. Meanwhile, bit of a bomb section at the back with the German off the tail. Getting a little hung. Nevertheless, some good work done out the back there for Moritz. Let's see if he can come back out the Frenchman, Roseo. Got sun poking through as well. It's cranking. And round 4 is in full swing here of our men, so we are powered out through competition. So far this morning, we've got a couple of heats of the women to bring you as well later on this afternoon. A full day of competition, setting us up for finals day tomorrow. We've just seen a world champion for 2019 on the women's side. Who's going to take it out for the men? Let's watch. The German in the red singlet, Maurice Mouch, bash a nice first turn. Little buckle through the wave, controls it well with a bottom turn. There's a nice clip from the top. Look at him eyeing down the line at this section. And he takes it on, just projects over it. And decides to get out of trouble down on the inside, real close to the rocks. You'll see him disappear from view. That's how close he is. And that little swirling backwash will actually draw off the rocks and take him out of harm's way.
That is a great comeback wave right there for Moritz Mouch. Needs a little mo of that and can work his way back into the heat. Sean Pointer's focused. He's Sean and Dan on different sides of the course trying to make their way out. And Mo Mouches, he's got a little extra pep in his step right there. He's not going to get the 9.41, but he's going to get something higher than a 4, so he's going to make his situation a little bit better.
Just think about that low score for Rosero over 6.5. I think we've got a number to come in for Clement as well. Just thinking, if he comes up shy, he's still going to need something in the region of a 7 or better. So still going to have some work left to do. And that sunshine is just feeling great out here as we've had a little bit of rain and some cool winds, and that's much more the Canaries we've come to know and love down the years. As the sun pops through, the water just shines deep blue. And spectators filling in. All right, let's check out Rosero, your heat leader. On a meaty section here, little S turns off the bottom, vertical stab up, one hand on the paddle, and then he'll drive off the bottom into a great turn. I tell you, he's so good at those backhand hits. Doesn't find another section. How's his recovery from those late turns?
Yeah, I mean, the paddle's there to help you for your balance, to help you even recover better. I want to disqualify him just for letting go of the paddle. It's a style thing that's not really sitting right with me. He's ripping though. See right here, just beautiful surfing. Great timing right there. Let's go of the paddle once. Can't figure out, little baton twirling. And bang. Once he figures out how to surf with the paddle, I think he's going to be at the next level. If you notice that bottom turn, he had the paddle on his heel side. It never even touched the water. So, a little nitpicky, but that is what the paddle is for, to help accentuate the moves that you're doing and make them even better. That's where he'll step into the realms with these other guys and be a little bit more consistent. But he is absolutely charging now and earning the scores needed to get into a battle with Point Nike in the next round.
So if you surf without the paddle, just picking up a point from yesterday, surf without the paddle, you don't get a score. What if you had one of those like telescopic ones and you just kind of quickly folded it away on takeoff to like 1 foot long and just shredded? Still holding the paddle.
This is true. And he's technically holding the paddle, even though he's not using it, so he's getting scores. But this is great food for thought that you're bringing up. And Quickblade actually did make a paddle that you can shrink up.
Yep.
On the fly. You just twist it and push it in. But the thing is the paddle actually helps you get more aggressive with your turns. You can use it as a pivot point to help you on your bottom and top turns. So it's it's aesthetically pleasing as well as functionally awesome. Gomez. We have in the booth with us Izzy Gomez. Hi, Izzy.
Hello, how are you?
Excuse me, let me do that again. We have in the booth with us 5-time world champion Izzy Gomez.
That sounds better.
Welcome. You just flew in. Who picked you up from the airport?
Shakira and Ibaya.
Those are also your competitors, too.
Yeah, but they're just like my moms. They're really nice, and I like them a lot. I'm so tired.
Well, we're not going to let you take a nap. And here, Anthony Vela with 5-time world champion Izzy Gomez. Got beautiful El Lloret in the background. Izzy just arriving off of a double red eye. And boards didn't make it. Boards are still asleep. And how about your paddles? Were they with your boards?
Yes, my paddles were in the same bag as my boards, but I think they're arriving in like 30 minutes, so someone is hopefully going to pick them up. But if not, in time for my first tee, I'll either borrow a board from Sean or Ibaya. So that's really nice of them to offer their equipment to me.
So Ibaya, you were in the final with her last year in one of the most spectacular finals in women's SUP surfing history, and you were able to win the event. She won the world title. It was kind of a good and bad thing for both of you guys.
Yeah.
She won the title, lost the event. You won the event, didn't win the title, but you came back this year to win the world title, and we're stoked to have you up in the booth just to keep you, kind of let you know what's been going on through the day. Currently, Clement Rosero is in the lead with just 45 seconds to go, so that means he's going to match up with Poinike Rioja in the quarterfinals. Poinike's been a little shaky, kind of like up and down in his heats. He's fallen more times in one heat than the entire year in the event. And one thing also that was interesting, before the event, the only person to be in the water, can you take a wild guess who it was? One person.
Poinike?
Wasn't a guy.
Fiona?
Wasn't Fiona.
AV.
I'm not a guy. I'm a guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm saying it wasn't a guy, and you said AV.
Oh.
It was Ibaya Moreno. The only person to warm up was Ibaya.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yep. So right now, that heat is finishing with Poinike Rioja is going to wind up surfing against Clement Rosero in the quarterfinals. So I'm going to just show you some of these stats that we have here. And one of the stats is APP World Tour wins. So we talked about it in Barbados, but now when you see it in relation to everyone, you won Barbados, so that was your 12th APP Tour win. Kaileni only has 11. So you have more wins than any other human being in the APP World Tour. If you look back at some of these wins, New York this year, Canary last year, Sunset 2017, Turtle Bay 2016, Huntington Beach in 2015, Brazil 2014, Abu Dhabi that year, Huntington that year, France in 2014, Huntington Beach in 2013, France in 2013. Any of them stand out?
I think all of them do. I mean, every win has been like so special for me, and yeah, I mean, definitely Abu Dhabi was super cool. It was just the most unique experience I've ever had. You're surfing in the middle of a desert. I mean, it doesn't get any cooler than that. I felt like I was in a Star Wars movie. And yeah, obviously Huntington 2013, that was my first ever World Tour win. So yeah, that was a super special one for me. But yeah.
And that year was the first year on tour, and you had a not your best result at Turtle Bay, which puts you behind the 8 ball. You then won all the rest of the events that year, but still didn't finish up as the World Tour winner because of that finish in Turtle Bay. Nicole Pacelli was a little more consistent, winning in Turtle Bay and getting in some other finals, so she won the World Tour. And then if we look at the stat for World Tour champion wins, so Nicole won that year in 2013. You won the next 4 years, Ibaya snuck in last year, and now you have your 5th world title win right now. And right after this wave, we'll get into some more questions, but we see White having a look. We're setting up this heat. Our surfer in red is surfer in red is
That's
Daniel
like
Hughes,
Daniel.
and Sean Pointer is in white. So Daniel Hughes having a paddle, and he's going to work his way around the section, eyeing the lip right here. Backside attack.
Oh my, wow.
Float section to free fall to lobster dive.
Yeah, Daniel's definitely cooking up some lobsters tonight.
Oh my goodness. And if we get the replay queued up, we're going to have you take us through that horrific wipeout. Daniels comes up smiling. And we'll get back.
Sean is out the back taking a set on the head.
Oh, you can see that set right there on screen. Let's take us through this replay.
So Daniel's driving down the line right here, just goes straight up into the lip, and unfortunately just kind of comes unstuck there and straight into lobster dive. Oh my gosh.
So
Go Daniel.
I can't tell if he fell or if he dove off on purpose. We'll get right back to that. Right now we're going to take you down to the beach with the winner of that last heat, Clement Rosero.
Good job. First time here at the APP World Tour and right into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I'm so happy to win my 8 finals and go on the quarterfinal on my first APP World Tour. And I'm so stoked.
What do you think of the wave? How is it out there?
The wave was good because it's the white and it's big today, and I prefer it's big or small in glasses.
Good news then. Perfect. Well, congratulations and on for the next one.
Thanks, Danny. Congratulations, Clement. And we've got action. You can see right there on screen on the left side, the right side middle, Sean Pointer had to go all the way to the beach. He lost his paddle. Izzy pointed out the set that was breaking on his head, lost his paddle. We were talking about that earlier. That's kind of a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You lose your paddle all the way, and you've got to make it back out. That's a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Especially here, I mean, there is a bit of a channel, but there's just so much water moving right now. I think the tide's actually coming up. So, yeah, Sean's got a little bit to deal with right now. That's unfortunate. But, yeah, it looks like Daniel's going to make it back out to the lineup first and probably snag that priority. So, go
I know.
Sean. Go Daniel. I love them both. So it's really hard to see them in a man-on-man heat together.
And this is a reheat,
From New York.
replay from New York where
Yeah.
we saw Daniel Hughes taking down Sean Pointer, and Sean missed Sunset, so he came into that one. You know, he won the event last year and wanted to have a great result to set up another world title run, and that almost ended his world title run. Luckily, he won in Barbados, so he's still in the hunt.
Yeah.
Sean has to win. Luis Diniz has to win in order for either one of those two. But if Point Nike makes the final, doesn't matter if those guys would win at all. Sean
just unfortunately taking a beating on the inside. Daniel is pretty much out the back now. But yeah, I mean, it would be really interesting to see how the men's title race pans out because, I mean, as of right now, Point Nike's sitting fairly comfortable, but like you said, he was looking a little shaky, so we'll just have to see what happens. But any of the 3 guys that are in the running for the title are more than capable of winning this event. So, yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
And then we've got Clement, who's looking good, who the guys are hoping that he just takes down Point Nike in the quarters. Wellington, although he's in 3rd place, here's Daniel Hughes up and riding.
Daniel driving down the line, sick bottom turn into a little setup turn right there. This wave isn't looking that good, so he kicks out. Smart choice. That wave kind of went out to sea there.
Regains priority again as Sean continues. But if anyone can regroup and stay mentally tough, it's Sean. And I think he's got plenty of time. That's the great part about 25-minute one-on-one heats. There's plenty of time to make up for mistakes.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sean's known for kind of coming back in heats. I've seen it happen numerous times, especially even in Barbados. Like, Lecco had a few really hefty scores on the board, and Sean just gave it right back to him. So, yeah, I think Sean's definitely going to be fired up now with that loss of his paddle in the beginning and just kind of get back out there and try to put a heat together.
I know somebody else that's really good at coming back at the end of heats. I'm not going to name any names, but she's a 12-time event winner. And if you throw in ISA world title, gold medal, if you throw in a Pan Am gold medal, a pretty accomplished surfer. If you just look at this year, 2019, with obviously winning in Barbados, winning the World Tour, beautiful wave, the semifinals of Sunset Beach, that 967.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite waves of the year.
Me too. I was actually watching that back the other day. I kind of came across it on my computer, but yeah, Sunset's my favorite wave. Love it there.
And you girls just ripped that up. I'm still waiting for you to send me that clip. I asked you to send that 967 because
when?
Back in Hawaii.
Oh my God.
Izzy, can you send me that? Oh yeah.
I thought I sent it to you. Daniel's looking at another wave here, setting it up off the bottom. Little setup turn once again. He's looking for a lip to hit right here. Let's see what he's got. This little foam climb. Going down the line. Not too much more to offer there, but that should probably be his highest score.
It should be, but like in chess, because we've been talking a lot about chess, Daniel and Sean have started playing chess, and
Yeah.
I've been playing my whole life, so I've been playing with those guys and showing them. So when someone makes a mistake, if you cannot capitalize on the mistake, we'll look at this replay. Daniel Hughes, not quite as aggressive as we would have liked to see on that turn. Played it a little bit safe. Works his way, wiggles through the section. That turn again, a little bit safe, I think. We've seen him go much more into the lip. This wave fattens out. So I believe Daniel didn't take advantage. Maybe the ocean wasn't cooperative, but Sean was gone for 7 minutes.
Yep.
And Dan really hasn't put a score on the board.
Yeah. Sean, I think, is out the back taking a look at this wave. It looks like it's going to line up pretty nicely, too. Yeah. Sean just pumping down the line, getting some speed. Nice little carve right there. This wave looks kind of foamy, but let's see what he's got. Straight up into the lip. That was sick. Nice little setup bottom turn right there. Just another little snap. And super nice finishing turn.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
incomplete.
comes unstuck right there. That was a nice wave, though. Definitely going to be the best one of the heat so far.
So right at just at 9 minutes through the heat, Sean catches his first wave. You can see this first turn, didn't impress you, little carve turn. And then the second turn, yeah.
Just to hug the power source. That turn was awesome. Like that one.
Nice free fall. A little bumpy on the bottom there. And then this turn he tried to finish with a bang. Unfortunately, can you pass me that water right there, the green? Sean going down on the last turn.
Yeah, I think Daniel definitely maybe should have held priority a little longer and waited for a better wave, because I definitely think Sean got the better of that exchange. But, you know, there's a set approaching, so maybe Daniel will spin and take a look. But, yeah, he's going. This is a bomb.
Oh, look at that drop.
Yeah, Daniel. Ooh, and just gets annihilated.
That was a huge wave. Oh my gosh, the drop was sick. Daniel is no stranger to big drops. He is a local at the famous Newport Beach Wedge.
Daniel is also the original guy to do sup airs. I remember I was probably 12 at the time, and I was at the Vans Huntington Beach Pier comp with my brother, and this was before him and I even knew what paddleboarding was, and we were like, who's this guy with the super long blonde flowy hair doing like huge airs at Huntington on a paddleboard? Never seen anything like it.
And his brother too. Remember his brother used to surf
Yep.
pretty well? We
Matt.
haven't seen Matt in a long time.
Yeah.
Got married, had a kid, never
Yeah.
saw him again.
I think Matt's super into body surfing.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but okay, scores in for those last couple waves. Sean with a 6.03, Daniel with a 4.17 and a 2.6. So Daniel just has a little bit of an advantage, but Sean has the higher wave score, obviously. So
Yeah, just the one single wave and needs a .75.